Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the podcast. Today. Short intro today, because we're getting straight into it. Welcome to the Hidden Podcast. Podcasting and niggas in the podcast. Episode 43, I believe.
Yep.
I am with
We're almost at 50.
my gracious co-host.
Will we make it?
Big Kelko, JMC Nova, and Dudley Sage. Welcome to episode 43. It is currently March 11th, 2026, 10:16 p.m. It's a beautiful day, you know. It was like 70, 80 degrees outside. You know, it was just a good day, especially yesterday. Another 80-degree day. You know, it was just a great day to shit on some
They did
bullshit.
not come here for the weather, man.
Right. So this week we have some very interesting topics for you guys. Wando was gonna shave his chest hair. Yeah, let's just get straight into the weekly chapters. Let's start off. No, let's not get into arguments yet. How about Chainsaw Man? Take it away, y'all, because I don't read this shit. So go ahead, y'all.
All right.
Who wants to go first?
Basically, if you live under a rock, Denji had his fucking JJK 236 moment where he gets killed by a fucking no-name devil, and then Pochita like sacrifices himself to save him and erase Chainsaw Man from the world, basically, on some shit like that. Look, I think it's a good chapter. Like, by itself, it's a good chapter, and I've said this a lot about Part 2's chapters. Individually, they're good. They have a lot of good character moments with Denji. I like his development so far. But this came so far out of bumfuck nowhere, it leaves such a bad taste in my mouth. Especially, bro, turning the page to see the series ends on March 24th was the biggest jump scare in my life. That shit, yeah.
That was the main issue I had too. Like the
I had to
chapter
look at it
itself is fine,
twice.
Look,
but
if
ending, it said final chapter March 24th. I'm like, nigga, what are you talking about? I just have to go to comments and check.
my opinion on this chapter solely depends on whether this is part 2 ending or if this is the series ending. If this is part 2 ending and we get a part 3, I'm fine with this. If this is the series ending, part 2 was like low-key the biggest waste of my time in my life. I'm not gonna lie.
See, my entire thoughts reading this chapter. I'm not gonna lie. The past couple Chainsaw Man chapters, I've just been reading with just empty thoughts in my head because I felt like something was
nothing new
happening
for you.
and nothing.
But all right.
You laughing up there for, boy? Anyways,
So why you say something to me and not the nigga that... Okay.
Bro's ruining Isaiah shit, bro.
so anyways, and then I had to I pulled an IRL double check. I made sure I was on a legitimate website to see final chapter. I went on Twitter, Chainsaw Man ending. I was in disbelief to think that he would actually end. I'm praying to God he gets a part 3 because
I
if
don't.
this is the end of the series, this might be one of the worst endings to a manga I've seen since probably quintessential quintuplets.
You want to
that bad.
you want to
It
you
wasn't.
you
You
gonna
gotta
have
let
to
it go. You
grow
gotta
up.
let that
I'm
go.
about to say you have to grow up. You gonna have to grow up. It was not that bad.
It's 2026. Niggas still mad that one girl won.
Yeah, like bro, like you have to grow up. Just because your favorite girl didn't win doesn't mean the ending was bad. Like it's time to grow up. Like that shit was not bad.
Like this is actually making Black Clover's resolution look decent.
And Black Clover hasn't ended yet. I thought it didn't end.
No, Black Clover ended. Oh
no, it hasn't.
No, I'm pretty sure the next chapter is the ending of Black Clover.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was saying the resolution, not the ending.
Oh,
that's why I'm saying it's making the resolution look decent in comparison. That's how bad this is.
Themes and such, bro.
Wait a minute.
Deadly.
Okay, I'm not.
Wait, do any of you? Hold on, wait. Before we go. No. I'll say it for Eric. I was gonna say, do any of you even read Black Clover? We haven't talked about that on this podcast.
I'm actually caught up.
My condolences.
I am
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I
unfortunately-
saw the chapter recaps on TikTok, and that was it, man. And then my homeboy texted me and said this chapter is ass, bro. He said Black Clover fell off.
Yeah, Black Clover was the first series
give
I
y'all
saw.
synopsis.
I saw the meme of, you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna dip out of here, themes and such. I'm gonna see y'all. That shit's hilarious. That trend is hilarious. Themes and
No,
such.
my hero was the one I saw too, with the Shigaraki and the dream thing with
Yeah, but-
Deku. But that Black Clover one
Yeah.
is also funny.
Okay, but go on, what were you gonna say though about that bullshit? How he was
What?
gonna cape for it because he's a bot? You know?
Okay. Look,
Nigga said,
I'm so glad.
See,
about it.
because I don't know if niggas know how Fire Punch ended, but like
Spoiler.
Fujimoto is not like everything ends happy kind of nigga. So like, if what he was going for was, oh, Denji is a horrible person, and because he keeps trying to like, he doesn't learn from mistakes, he is going to get a bad ending. If that's what he was trying to make happen, I'm fine with that. I fuck with like, I fuck with like bad endings. I fuck with the author trying to do like subvert expectations, shit like that. Okay.
Oh yeah,
But
we know. That's why you like JJK.
to do yo nigga yo.
My bad.
Can I finish what I was gonna say?
I'm mute up.
Like, but to get there, he said, fuck Asa, fuck Yoru, fuck everything that was going on. Like, okay, this is assuming the series ends, but he said, fuck Asa, fuck Yoru, fuck everything else that like happened in the world, fuck power.
Facts.
The one trailer,
Facts. Facts. Fuck power.
He just said fuck everything else to get here. So like I said, if we do get a part 3, I'm cool with this because like it's a cool direction to go in. The pacing was dog shit, but like I'm still fine with this direction. But if the series ends and we just lose all those plot points, it just fucking is literally a jump scare going from this point to where we were last chapter. It's dog shit. I'm sorry. We'll see in 2 weeks, but if the series ends, this is like genuinely horse shit.
this might be like Fujimoto's like worst like series of all time. If this is the case, I
like-
think the chips are right though. But oh no, you go ahead, Dilly. I was gonna say.
I was gonna say it'd be one thing if like the rest of the part 2 was decent and we just like the ending they tripped up on, but part 2 has been so
Dog shit.
I don't
say
know.
that. It was just
Like it's like
Boring.
it's boring, and then it's like,
I
and
think
also
more.
Underwhelming.
Like-
Underwhelming is the right word.
Yeah.
Like I think I don't know if we talked about it last time Power was here, but you know I think we did during the Denji versus Yor fight. But there were so many fucking bullshitter cliffhangers where it's like, oh, something crazy is about to happen on the last chapter, and you turn it gets to the next page.
no,
next
we
week,
did, we
and
did, we
nothing
did.
fucking happens.
we
Yeah.
did talk about that last week.
There's
Yeah.
so much of that.
Making the JJK comparisons.
Yeah, but between all of that, Denji not learning from his mistakes, which like by itself, whatever, fucking like there's so much that's just bullshit. Nothing fucking happens. And it's just I don't bro.
I can't
so
like the
sad.
thing is the most egregious like thing I think about part 2 that I will reiterate again is just we going back to characters aren't that like fleshed out compared to part 1, and then going back to what works with Denji, or like just going back to like Denji's gonna like regress again, Denji's gonna go fall back to his old habits again, no, Denji's gonna goon again, Denji wants to do this again, and then my main gripe with the last chapter, like going into that, my point is like the Pochita saying was like, you were happier in hell than you were in heaven, which is basically like the whole like, oh, you had a companionship, you had Naoyuta, you had, I think Naoyuta, you had fucking Azia, you had like everybody else, Shishida. You said you were happier when you were getting abused with the Yakuza, living with me, and like, you know, just fucking being like impoverished and everything. You were happier in hell than you were when you were in heaven. And I'm like, if Fujimoto was doing the thing where it could be just like giving advice and it comes from Bochita's perspective, because remember, he's still a devil and he still wants to fuck over humans and he hates humans. So this could be like an interesting perspective. I just don't know how that is going to lead into like the series ending. Because if there is a part 3, which could be interesting, that we see Denji have no powers at all, and then like he's just gonna fight devils or whatever as not Chainsaw Man, or Chainsaw Man doesn't exist anymore. It's just gonna be like, I'm wondering how Fujimoto's gonna navigate into this, or if he's actually gonna like develop Denji like without being Chainsaw Man. Like it's like there's a lot of things in here that I don't like, especially the Pochita thing, but because it just kind of goes against that he wanted Denji to be happy and experience his dream, but then he's like, "Oh, you were happier when you're getting abused and shit."
Okay.
So
I
you know,
will
things
say
as such.
this, as funny as that is, you wanna
Oh no, 'cause I have a question. How do y'all feel about like if this is the end of part 2 or if this is the series about like the whole power not getting reincarnate, like coming back
it's
at
dog shit.
all?
Yeah, I want to
It's
say
just
like if
dog
this
shit.
is
Like
the
it's
end,
just
if this
done.
is the end of the
I think
series,
it's
dog
great.
shit.
I think
But if it's
power
the end
should
of part
stay
2,
gone.
but if it's in the part 2, then
The
I'm fine
character
with
or the
that.
person?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
But all right, but what were you gonna say, Deadly?
Yeah, I was gonna say, as funny as Pochita like sending Denji back to fucking poverty is, like, I do think that's why I think like if they do part 3, it'll be really interesting for Denji's character because for all intents and purposes, Denji did do this to himself. Like, that's why I think this is a good chapter. Pochita's like read on Denji in this chapter isn't wrong, right? Like the entirety of part 2, he's had Nayatsu next to him, he's had a family, he's had money, he's had a house, he's had pets, he's had schooling, he's had friends, and like you see consistently throughout through all this, he's still depressed. He still wants to be Chainsaw Man. He's still like they
He's
literally
going
threatened
back
him
to
to
old
his
habits,
face, "We are
yes.
going to fucking kill your daughter or your sister," whatever the fuck Nia says to him, if you turn into Chainsaw Man. What does he do? The millisecond he gets a chance to turn into Chainsaw Man, he pulls the fucking trigger. So, like,
Yeah.
I, from Pochita's point of view as a devil and not like a human being who knows all these emotions and shit, Denji
Is
was
he more
happier
about
when
Chainsaw?
he was like in poverty, when he was struggling every single day. I think that read of Pochita, like, Pochita knows how Denji was. He doesn't know how to make him get better, if that makes sense. I think that's a really interesting read of Denji's
That's why he
character.
sacrificed himself in the end because he feels like he was the like catalyst for everything that made
Yeah.
Denji's
So
life
he's
worse.
the reason
And
he's still unhappy.
yeah, and
Yeah.
like I do think that's a good character moment. Like I said, the thing is with Denji, like I'm all for characters regressing or going back to old habits. Like I said, I think Berserk does it well. I think other series does it well. Evangelion, you know, some other series do it well. Like it's fine to have a character regress and then turn back to what it says and say, "Wait, I'm better than this. I just need someone to pick me up," and just going back. Like Yuji, for example, in JJK, going back to self-loathing and everything, and people boost them up and said, like, you gotta lock in and like just grow up and just do what he can. But the thing what I just like don't like is what if part 3 is going to be about Denji growing as a person and finding out what his happiness is supposed to be like and like actually accepting everything. I just
Hold on.
I just hope they don't regress it. Like
See, and here's my thing. I've been seeing people have this conversation on if this is the actual ending of Chainsaw Man. People are like, "Oh, you guys just like if this is the actual ending, you guys just don't like when there's a bad ending."
That's not
This is the
the case at
dumbest.
all.
Yeah, that's
This
not
is
the
the this
issue.
is the dumbest take I've ever heard in my life. Right? I feel like stories, and especially these kind of stories, what purpose is there in having a bad ending? What lesson or what are you trying to tell us by giving a
well,
bad ending? Hold on, let me cook. Right?
Yo, nigga, yo, dude.
Ash
what?
Cash, before you think I was looking at porn.
Yeah, I thought I saw straight tits for a nigga. Oh my god.
No. My thing is, it's like, see, I didn't think about this too much, so I don't really have anything this, but like the way I see it, what purpose is there to have a bad ending, right? And then because what does this do for Denji? It's like it feels like a waste of time because part 1, if anything in my head, part 1 was the bad ending. You know what I'm saying? So it's like part 1 is the bad ending, and then part 2 is supposed to be what Nova just said. He learns how to like live his life and like love himself and like when he's not being groomed and all this other shit. And then he just keeps repeatedly making more bad mistakes, and then we get another bad ending, and that's the end of the series. And it's like, bro, what was the point of this series? You just wasted my time. Like, what lesson? Like, what are you trying to tell me? What are you teaching me? Like, there's nothing like, I don't know.
Okay.
Now the part one thing. Oh, I'm gonna say one thing real quick, Daily. For the part one thing, what you were saying, I disagree about that one being the bad ending because he was actually able to stand up for himself, Makima, adopt
I
Naoyuda,
mean,
and
like,
everything else.
yeah,
And then
like
like it's just like that.
he's like in a better scenario than he was at the beginning of part one, but he still
Mhm.
lost everything. So it's like
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
he had nobody.
I can't
Yeah,
like
but he
it's not
blamed another person.
it's not necessarily like a good ending. I mean, I guess it's not bad ending, but it's definitely not like part one isn't a good ending. You know, like
It's like bittersweet. Yeah, it's like bittersweet. Cause like I said, like, cause when you consider like a bad ending, like, do y'all think Death Note is a bad ending or like a bittersweet ending for Light? Because it's not a good ending. That nigga, the
wait
main character
do
for
I
Death
think
Note.
do I think for Light
It
like
is
for
a
Light specifically
for the
or like the
character, for the
series?
series.
For the series, y'all think it was a bad ending or like
Oh,
more
no,
of a
it's a good
bittersweet
ending.
one? Because it's a
Good,
good ending because he's the antagonist.
it's a I mean,
Like,
Death Note
okay,
Death Note
are
has
you
like
talking
a
about good
good
in
ending,
writing wise
but
or just like
for Light he has a bad ending, but like the series has a good ending. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
Because like
okay.
the serial killer is gone. Like I don't know.
So like more like so like would you say like for Chainsaw Man, would it be a bad ending for like Denji's character or like bad ending for like the series itself? Like I'm just trying to get that underway real quick.
I mean,
Like
I can't say for the series itself because I'm not reading it, but from
mhm,
my understanding of Denji, it would be a bad ending for Denji. I don't know for the
okay,
series. Like
okay. Because like I'm just trying
what's
to
going on
classify
in
what is
part
a
two?
bad ending just in general. But
The
like
way I see it, it's like what did he like
accomplish more
yeah,
like
what did he learn? What did he accomplish? What did he gain? Like if anything, he's only lost more from the end of part one. You know what I'm saying? So like if this is truly
yeah.
the end, he's gained
yeah,
nothing. He's only lost the entire series.
yeah, because he's
Okay.
lost Naruto, he's lost Pochita, he didn't get
Here's
Aqua.
Azia.
Like,
Fuck that bitch.
I mean,
Yo, fuck Azia.
Well,
I'm tired of her. Can we kill her?
why?
Wait a
I
minute.
don't like her.
I like
No.
her.
She
She's a good
sucks.
character.
She
like it was
sucks.
bad. It
Okay.
was
Guess
bad.
what?
Oh my
Oh,
god.
Okay. Look. Here's my take on it. This is this is also part of the reason I say why if the
I'm
series
not
ends here is
sponsored,
dog shit.
but if you want to sponsor me, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? Dudley would love that. His broke ass. He need free biggie bags.
Why are you
My bad.
like pretending like you're gonna fucking give me part like what the fuck?
It would be. I mean, if it's a sponsorship on this channel, then all four of us would be sponsored. Come on. Anyway, but continue.
Yeah, anyways, part of the reason I think it'd be dog shit if the series ends here is because if it does, like Denji, because there's two things that can happen, right? Either A, the series ends and Denji is literally in the exact same spot as he was chapter one, part one. I think that would be ass because you can series can have bad endings for their main characters and cast, but like there needs to be some takeaway. There needs to be some like
That's what I was trying to say.
progression.
It's like if you're gonna have a bad ending, I feel like there needs to be like a lesson or like something. But like with Chainsaw Man, I feel like there would not be like there wouldn't be anything.
Because
Yeah.
like yeah, like you said, like for example, like Death Note, like the ending, like don't play God, or blah 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 blah. But like for Denji, if they were to do a bad ending, they would just be like more be grateful for what you have and just like better yourself, I guess. But
It'd maybe be one thing if like that like doing this happened and like we saw Denji's friends or some shit like live happier lives or like something else happened in the world as a result of all this. But we've literally gone in a complete 360 circle from all of part two to like the beginning of Chainsaw Man. Like there's no chains whatsoever. So it's just what was the point of
And they
reading
left
that?
off on the locust devil just terrorizing the planet.
Yeah, that that's another thing. I don't know what the fuck is gonna happen to like the Chainsaw Man world after the last chapter because we just gotta see him. I don't know. There shit. If we're talking about progression, there's a like real life chance the fucking world explode next chapter because like technically all the shit Pochi ate should come back now because that's how Denji would survive in the first place because he got eat. I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, the second thing I was gonna say is if part three does happen, then this is the first time Denji's like this is the first time like Denji's, other than Nayata dying, this is the first time Denji's faced consequences like of his direct actions and how he is. Like he was more or less able to get away with shit in part 1, but part 2 has been all about him facing these consequences. Started with Nayata, started with fucking the octopus nigga. I keep forgetting his name like every episode.
We all do.
Who?
I said we all do. We all
Oh.
forget his name.
But yeah, that nigga. And now Pochita fucking killed himself because like Denji's warped ass brain, like Pochita genuinely believes this is how he would be the happiest. So now Pochita's dead. All of which come like directly as a result of Denji's failures and how he is as a person. So if Denji like this is such a perfect jump off point for part 3 because it's the first time Denji's like directly facing consequences for him, like that come as a result of himself. It's like even you mentioned character regression. I don't think it'd particularly be like regression in a way. If anything, this is the first time I think there would be genuine growth in this character.
Yeah, I meant like not like regression, more like going back to old habits. I just use regression meaning like, you know, to regress back, like not like actual regression, just more like just falling back to old habits. But yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, like if there is a part 3, I am all for how this ended. But if not,
this might be. I will agree that Chainsaw Man would probably be the worst new gen then if this was the case. But
it's essentially the potential to be a great
it already
segue
is, buddy.
Nah, bro.
Is that all you had to say about that bullshit series?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Got my thought though. Just gotta wait and see.
One Piece, one dream, right? So, if you guys know, last episode we discussed One Piece, and I discussed what I think how Oda has failed in the post time skip content. New chapters come out since then. This chapter, a lot of shit happened. Anybody want to give a quick summary of the chapter real quick? While I go ahead. Dudley, no, give me a quick summary of what happened in this chapter.
Yeah, basically, only 2 things really happen in this chapter, or 3 things. Nami puts out the fire. Franky gets a power up.
Wait. Wait. Say that again. Who? Arlington? What's a polar bear doing to Arlington, Texas? Who gets a power up and what arc? Excuse me?
Franky.
Excuse me? Who does what and where?
Elbaf gets a power up, and he takes out a monster or whatever with Jinbei and Sanji.
No.
And then
Nah. You lying. Nah, he lying. That ain't happening.
Is there a name he's forgetting, Isaiah?
Nah. Because Oda wouldn't have Usopp, a character that's been wanting to go to Elbaf, wanting to be a great warrior. He's someone that's very inspired by the Elbaf culture, go to Elbaf and do nothing and have another Straw Hat who didn't even know what the fuck Elbaf was until a few months ago get a power up in that. Nah, he wouldn't do that. That's not Oda. Not my goat. I don't know what the fuck you talking about. I don't know what AI chapter you read. Not my goat. What you talking about? Oda didn't do that, right? Or did he? Or Oda's a fucking fraud.
Wait.
Hey, man.
Let's talk about it. Usopp, Franky getting a power up in Elbaf before Usopp even pulls out his slingshot. Thoughts? My distinguished panel. Thoughts?
I don't see nothing wrong with it.
We did talk about the Straw Hats. The older.
No, we did. No. To be fair, Isaiah, you did say the Straw Hats weren't really doing shit. Like I said, you did say that. Hey, it may not be Usopp. It may not be Usopp yet, but you did mention what has Franky done? What has Brook done? What has
I think Isaiah's issue
This
is that
still
he should have been doing the last arc.
no. And here's the thing. I even said this last episode. It's not power-ups. Ooh, Jinbei, fucking Franky getting a power-up here does not matter and doesn't change my argument at all still. Because what does this do for Franky's? This isn't a character moment. He got a cool, he got a aura moment. That's not a character moment. There's nothing new or give me a new insight into Franky and his psyche or anything like that. This is just a power up. This nigga Oda's a bot.
Super cola, bro.
Hey, brother, this is that that fabled egghead buff niggas were talking about for Franky, bro. I don't know. It might be peak fiction, bro. I don't know.
Yo, we did get a delayed. We did get a delayed. Like what?
Shit, you know what, bro? Maybe. Hear me out. Here's what's gonna happen, right? One of the giants are gonna come with the Straw Hats after Elbaf, and Usopp is gonna get his power up next arc.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time. Sanji had a whole arc in Whole Cake, and he got his power up in Wano.
Hey,
No, that's not true. In Whole Cake, he got the suit. And again,
no, but he didn't use. But he didn't get this stronger till.
And again, a power up doesn't equal what I'm looking for. I don't need the Straw Hats to get stronger.
Okay. Like, yeah, you're right.
I don't need them to get stronger. I need them to feel like characters again, and they don't. Like, bro, Oda's a fucking fraud, and it's time to really start talking about this. Oda is a fraud, and I think One Piece being weekly has finally caught up to him for real. And I know I've seen people say, oh, One Piece fans say this about every single arc. They'd be like at the beginning, oh, it's so slow, it's so boring. And then by the time it ends and a few years pass, everyone says they love it, right? Not me, I'm different. I'm not going to say hating. I've been noticing these trends with Oda. Well, really, I think I'm going to say since I guess since the end of Wano, right? I've been noticing these trends with Oda, and he hasn't shown me anything that will make me think otherwise. If anything, he just keeps proving me right. I don't know what I already said what I think, bro. Y'all got any thoughts, comments, questions?
Okay. You said you say you think the series being weekly is catching up with him. Honestly, I think it's the opposite. This nigga needs to like slow the fuck down in terms of like, because let's take this chapter for example, right? There's so much shit happening, like there's so much shit happening, but none of it has any substance. Oda's a fucking yapper. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Oda's a fucking yapper when it comes to like just dialogue and text and exposition.
Yeah, that's been a thing for a while now.
Like,
yeah, I can't really.
I think it's gotten to the point where like there's so much shit happening per page in each chapter, but none of it actually fucking means anything. And like because of it, there's no space for genuine character interactions. There's no space for like that. That's why you get shit like fucking in the page Franky gets his power up. Let me.
Yeah, that's another. That's the thing people have been talking about for a while. It's like he tries to like condense everything into these weekly chapters. I don't know why. That these big moments, when they do actually get them, aren't moments at all. And I was saying this before, and Dudley tried to be a Negro and tried to say, I just want aura moments. I'm like, no, I want character moments. Like, for example, I think the most infamous one, Whole Cake Island, when Jinbei denies Big Mom, and he's like, and like she tried to use her hockey on him, or try to use her devil fruit on him, or whatever, and he's like, I'm not afraid of you, and I don't serve you no more. Like, that's a big moment. But it's a small panel surrounded by a bunch of other dialogue and just a bunch of other shit. It's just, I don't know. I think Oda's trying to like, I don't want to say rush to the ending. Like I don't know. Like
Because
I just
there's
think.
like a this one. Oh, my fault.
Go ahead.
Because like, yeah, I understand what you're saying. Like, that's actually the thing what Oda's trying to do. He's mentioned this in interviews like multiple times, or like it was very recent
What?
that Oda like wants more pages and is like, or he wants to do more pages to get more out, and it's limiting him in a way. And that like at least like that's what was said, that what he's mentioned, that like I want to be able to put everything that I envision on a page, but that would make like the manga 30 fucking pages. And like it's not feasible for a weekly series. I would think One Piece.
I was gonna say I think at this point, for how much Oda has done for Weekly Shonen Jump and how much how big One Piece is, I think at this point Oda needs to either A, learn a new writing style, or B, Weekly Shonen Jump needs to move him to a different magazine. Is there like a bi-weekly one or something? Or like a one that has more
Or
chapters?
he could just do bi-weekly, or like do like what Spy Family does, or fucking
Yeah,
shit like that.
go bi-weekly. Or they need to make an exception for One Piece and let this nigga have more pages. But then I see why they don't do that, because that's very unfair, and it's like it's literally just special treatment, which like I get, but also he's like your top seller, so it's like I don't know.
And like the nigga, and like I said, a lot of people have been saying this for a while now. Considering the eye surgery, his age, One Piece is hitting 30 years next year. It's catching up to him. It's catching up to him. Like if we're like we all see their light, we all see it now. Everyone's ended off their series, like Naruto ended, Dragon Ball ended. Most of their series don't even reach like 15 years at the most. They reach like 14, 12, 13, like 10, like whatever. And Oda has been doing this since 1997. So like it's starting to catch up to him, and you can notice it a lot. I in my hot take, I do think post time skip is better than pre. That's just me. But I do think like the quality, and there's some things that are happening it's not as prevalent as it was in pre. And like you can see that now, like with Elbaf. Wano is a very egregious one. I mean, you either hate Wano or you love it. No in between. And then like it's just other things like that. I understand people's criticisms with One Piece, and I do agree. I do think Oda needs like either like more rest, or more like more time to plan out the things, more like scheduling, more like just more things that he can cater to him, so he can be able to finish the story, because he's gonna get to a point where he's gonna probably get outlived by One Piece if he does pass away, like God forbid. But I'm just saying it's gonna get to a point where like the quality in the story is gonna get worse and worse, because the series has been going on for so long, and he's getting so old. So like it's just like no mangaka besides maybe like Ariaki or fucking Hajime no Ippo and Baki's are like don't have series as long as like One Piece is. So like it's just like it's gonna get to a point. But even then, they release a chapter like every like 5 or 6, 7 months. So they're not like as like tired as that nigga is. So it's just like gonna have to be like either Oda like needs to like either get what he wants with the more pages, so he can get more out in like in a like a less amount of time, or B, just be able to get like less, like not have it come out as more frequently, but get more out as well. If you get what I mean. Like bi-weekly, or like maybe like I wouldn't say monthly, but I think bi-weekly would work. I don't think I could handle monthly One Piece chapters, bro. Fucking God Valley cliffhangers and shit. Or fucking Luffy getting one-shotted by Emu, and you gotta wait a whole month for that shit.
If it was monthly during Wano and you left me at 1043 for a month,
imagine the spoilers dropping.
Nigga, you might as well been in a month. It was like a 3-week break in between.
Yeah, it was. It was a 3-week break.
That's damn near a month.
And it was and then it was a month break when the Wano ended, and then they show up.
Oh yeah, I was going insane. I ain't gonna lie.
So like, I think like I said, like because Oda has taken more breaks now, but I do think they should just give him what he wants, or just make him bi-weekly or something. I don't know. It's starting to catch up to him. So
And another
that's just
thing,
my take on things.
that happened this chapter that really annoyed me.
The end.
Yeah, the ending. Because I think that moment with Bragi and Dory was like really cool.
Really good.
And then like their heads just come back on. I'm like, oh, whatever,
Nigga.
bro. Whatever, bro. like whatever. Like I don't know, bro. One Piece is it's hard, bro.
Like, and I don't. It's so weird, bro. Because it's not like this hasn't been a problem, but like
It like he like Oda's
One Piece.
always like had fake out deaths. Yeah, like
Yeah, it's just like why like.
I never did
feel like
understand
I
that.
feel like I'm reading Fairy Tale, but like at least Fairy Tale didn't like fucking.
I have a take about
I
Fairy
don't know,
Tale.
bro.
I have a take about Fairy. We'll get to that when we get to us. No, Kelka, you're gonna like this.
Huh?
I think.
What does that mean?
When we get to the section I was telling y'all about beforehand, Fairy Tale's gonna come up. And I think no, we'll get to it when we get to it. But go on, Dudley. You feel like you're reading Fairy Tale, but
Even with Fairy Tale, I feel like I didn't. I feel like I'm getting jerked around, bro. Like Fairy Tale, I knew like it's a hopeful series. Niggas are gonna save the day, like yada yada yada, whatever. Like and even with the fake out deaths, there was always like there was at least some like other than the fucking Markov fake out that was ass. But for the most part, there was always some
Which
present
one?
for like okay when he used I don't remember what that shit was
I
called.
know.
When
Very
he
long.
sacrificed himself. Yeah, Fairy Law. That was ass. But for the most part, there was like some precedent, like,
It
okay,
was.
I know they're gonna like get here in time. I know they're gonna save the day, whatever. Oda keeps doing shit like this, where it's like, I don't know. Like, it feels like I've like we're reading the arc. The whole arc right now is based around niggas getting taken over. Dory and Braga do this crazy shit to sacrifice themselves, save everyone. Oh, by the way, that fixes it. We're good. No problems. We're good. And it's like, what was the point?
That pissed me off so
Why do all
much.
this?
Like, cause then
I,
like it
I heard
goes back to
people
rocks all
say
over again.
I heard
Like,
people
yeah,
say they think
hold
it's
on.
really
So you telling me you telling me fucking what's the name?
Rocks.
all they had to do
Yeah,
was
so,
cut that
like,
nigga's head off. Or like
there
wasn't
was
he
this,
wasn't he begging them to kill him? And they were like, "No, we're not going to kill you." But like if they actually did, he would have been freed. That's from my
No, they
understanding.
were no, they did kill him. Like they were trying to like fight to survive. That there wasn't that they didn't want to kill that nigga. They just didn't know how to because like the nigga was immortal and taking all their attacks, and he was way stronger than what he was before. They just didn't know how.
How the fuck did he even die?
But
Then I don't even remember now. Though.
he they did beat
He got
him.
shot.
They pulled all of his Garp and Roger like just put their max output, I guess, of their hockey, and then they chopped that nigga in the bits. And then the Domi Reversi ended, and then Garland killed him.
Oh yeah, no, I do
stabbed him
remember.
in the,
Yeah, I remember. I
he
remember
stabbed
now.
him in the heart, I think.
Yeah, I remember.
But see, and that's the thing I'm thinking about, like that, because like if that was the case, and that nigga did technically, he was alive still, and he was just injured on the ground, just at fatal fucking like 1 HP, and then Garland just stabbed that nigga in the chest. So I'm like, if Dory and Bragi just killed each other, and then they just come back to full health and they're fine, I'm like, what the fuck? And even then, if they did die there, it solidifies Emu as a bigger threat. And that's what I don't like about this, because I'm like, Emu can be seen as a bigger threat than like maybe like because Akaino's the only nigga that's killed a fucking character in this series on screen, or Blackbeard. Like,
no, not that bum. But yeah,
like Akaino is literally the only nigga that we've seen that's actually killed a character on fucking screen.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's like, and that's why, like I said, like One Piece kind of does this thing where it doesn't allow characters to die. Like I still hate the Kinemon thing. I don't know how the fuck he survived the Thunderbolt to the fucking skull, and then he got stabbed again. either Kaido sucks or that nigga Kinemon might be the strongest nigga in the
Well,
verse. Like, cause
he
like,
did fail to kill one person 4 times.
and then there's fucking Pell. Like, you remember the nigga from Alabasta that took a nuke and the nigga
On the topic
Nah, bro.
of
That's so
of
funny.
Kaido sucking, I have seen people upscale Odin now after the God Valley flashback, because people were saying that Kaido might have actually been in his prime when he fought Odin and not when he fought Luffy. So people were using that like to upscale Odin potentially. Just unfortunate news.
That's just not true. Odin is still not a bum, but like Kaido's in his prime now when he fought Luffy. Like not before. If Odin fought Kaido now, that nigga is getting one tap. I'm sorry. That nigga's genuinely getting one tap.
No, he is.
But I mean, there's another thing about the power scaling One Piece now that Loki's here. So that's another.
Oh, I'm done power
topic.
scaling One Piece. That shit sucks.
Yeah, like no.
That
nigga Loki
for quite some time now, so I'm confused.
That nigga Loki.
No, One Piece power scaling was fine. Was like kind of fine before, but like with One Piece power scaling now, it's like
narrative
so
vibes,
weird.
bro.
It is just
like,
narrative and more like
I actually saw someone rant about this. I'm trying to see if I think I saved the
Oh,
video.
isn't that black dude? And he was saying One Piece power scaling doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm done power scaling.
Because
I know who you're talking about.
All the power scaling in the series now is like it's nothing that like actually makes sense with Oda's own rules. It's literally just how he's feeling that day and the vibe. And like narrative, like it's all narrative. And none of it is like how shit logically makes sense. Because like it or fucking not, y'all got to accept it. Logically, with how Oda has told us how the power system works, if Luffy fought Blackbeard right now, Luffy is one-shotting Blackbeard. But we know that's not the case because of narrative. So because of how narrative is right now, we have to upscale Blackbeard to be much stronger than he actually is according to Oda's own logic. And it's ass, right? And I don't want to get into a Blackbeard argument. I was just using that as an example of how narrative doesn't equal.
Well, no, I mean it depends. It depends, but
there's been multiple statements made, and like whether you like the statement or not, whether it makes sense or not, that hockey reigns supreme, and we have seen examples of this. But there are also, let me finish, but there are also times where we could see where that might not necessarily be true. That's why I'm saying Oda is just vibing. There's no actual power scaling or anything that makes sense in this fucking series. And then he just whoever it's literally, y'all know the Stan Lee video where it's like, oh, whoever wins the fight is whoever the creator decides. Oda lives by this shit. Whoever Oda wants to win that fight will win that fight, no matter if it makes sense or not. You know what I'm saying?
Basically, if he wants to, he can have Usopp beat Emo.
Yes, like Oda's that type of nigga. Oda would find a way to have Usopp beat Emu, and then people would defend it and try to find a way. And that also brings me to the next point I was going to say, is that how the fans would be like, oh, you think, I saw some person say, you think Oda actually cares about power scaling in his manga? I'd fucking hope an author of a battle shonen would care about power scaling in his battle manga. Like what are you talking about? That doesn't make sense. Yo, I hate it.
I get it. Story should always take precedent over power. But when you're writing a shonen, or if you're writing any series, if you have like a villain that's strong or whatever, you have to set the stakes and make it believable. Like I said, it's going to be crazy. Hold on. Because you'll have shit like comics where you have like Superman who can beat the dog piss at a doomsday dark side and like the greatest niggas in the verse, and then you have Batman beating that nigga.
Oh my god.
And he'll still lose to like Batman or fucking Jimmy Olsen if he throws a camera at that nigga or some shit. But like we gotta have like power scaling like right here. And that's why I'm saying like it's kind of have to be like with Luffy, for example. Luffy's gotten so fucking strong, you have to make it believable that he would lose to a nigga like, what's a good, I can't really say it, but like you have to make like the stakes there, because like Luffy's a fucking Yonko level now, like it or not. He's just losing to admirals, the top tier niggas in the verse. That's who he can only lose to. He can't lose to no bums. He can't lose to no niggas. He can't lose to no Lucci's. He can't lose to anyone who's beneath him. So that's anyone that's below like the top. Even Luffy's not even in the top 10 right now. He just can't lose to anyone like below him. Like no, Luffy's not top 10. Yeah, I'm about to say, bro. There's like, I think there's like 20. There's like 20 niggas stronger than that nigga right now. But like,
I don't know about that. But.
I get what that tweet about power scaling was like trying to say. Like, no author cares about it to the extent like you see on the fucking like on Twitter or subreddits where niggas are talking about like fucking Luffy hits with like 13 quadrillion pounds of tea. Like no one.
But I feel like they should. Much, right? I feel like you should care. Like it's a battle manga. Like you should care that much.
See, okay, there's like you should care enough to the point where like
it's believable and it doesn't break the fucking story.
Yeah, it's you should care enough to like it's believable. It doesn't impact the story, and like you can more or less tell how strong a character is, right? But like
a good example.
Let's take like, JJK for example. Yeah. Okay. I know. Stop. Hey, nigga, stop.
W segue, Dudley.
It's not. Hey, relax.
W segue.
Chill the fuck out. Okay, let's take. I know Isaiah he's either read it for today or he's not reading it at all. I don't know. What the fuck is that?
Those are Girl Scout cookies of mint flavors.
Y'all fat. Anyways,
nigga, these are the best flavor. Go on.
Let's take Module for a second, right? Module versus One Piece. In One Piece, a big issue with Luffy and characters in general, you don't know exactly where they scale because like a lot of the One Piece fights boil down to big ass attack
or off screen.
Like big ass attack versus big ass attack versus big ass attack, or they get off screen, but there's no like there's no like concrete progress in fights, if that makes sense. It's just niggas throwing shit at each other until super big ass attack versus super big ass attack, and then the fight ends. Versus like Module and JJK in general, as fights progress and we see them, like characters take note of the damage they receive, how much things do. Like we have a character that can move light speed now. We see exactly how much damage that does.
Jujutsu is very advanced.
Yeah. But in general, the fights are like very in depth. We see how things happen like step by step. Oda does not care about that shit whatsoever. That nigga draws what he thinks is cool and then moves on to the next thing he thinks is cool. And then he keeps doing that until he thinks the fight should end. Shit, the same thing happened with Katakuri. It was just two niggas
but punching each other for like
peak. It's peak. Don't get me wrong. It's peak.
That's peak.
But like it was two niggas punching each other until Oda thought the fight got it. Which again, nothing inherently wrong with that. But when you apply that kind of principle to every single fight in One Piece, it gets a little hard to tell where characters stand. So like, yeah, Luffy could destroy a fucking island in Wano. Kaido can probably do that too. Blackbeard can probably do that too. Like there's no ground to put any character on, so you just have to rely on like narrative. And in the narrative, all these characters are relative to each other. There's no like you can't pick anyone out. You don't know who stands above who, so you just kind of have to bullshit. That's why we've been arguing.
So and then also a lot of characters are leeches, but like
like you have to fucking chain scale. Like that's why we've been arguing about Blackbeard for the past 2 fucking years, because like narratively he should be above or near Luffy, but
logistically he's not. But because of the narrative, we have to put him there. But realistically, in the logic of the power scaling and what we've been seeing, that nigga is getting packed up by Zoro. Fact.
I wouldn't even say Zoro. No.
He's getting packed up by Zoro.
Okay.
Because of the narrative, we gotta move off of Blackbeard, Shanks, and Mihawk. Let's go there.
No.
Why do you want to do that again? Wherever Shanks is, Mihawk is above him. I'm just saying.
The point
That's
being,
rage bait. That's rage bait. That's rage bait. I'm not engaging. That's rage
The
bait.
point being is that in series, in battle shonens, they're more like the author should make an effort to like
Give a fuck.
feats are important. Power scale is important, right? Like they're not something. It's not just what nerd niggas talk about. It does have importance to the series itself. Where you end up like in situations where like One Piece, where you don't know where characters stand. And in a series like One Piece, where like the ranking is so important, it just gets hella confusing. But we can move on. We don't got to fucking argue about this
Kid
shit.
could come back next
time.
chapter and one shot
we
Luffy, and I won't even be surprised at this point, bro.
We could like I said, hey man, shit happens, but we can have like another discussion about the power scaling another day. But like,
Speaking
it's just
of
how it is.
speaking
with
of One Piece being ass, the live action series season 2 came out. Have not watched it. Not going to watch it.
I've heard good.
I've seen clips.
I've just seen that one photo of Nami's actor. That's all I've been seeing.
Very beautiful
Yeah.
woman. I've seen clips. If you all haven't seen them, I will show you that later. That shit looks worse than season 1 somehow. That shit looks terrible.
People have been saying it's been ass, and people saying Luffy's actor.
Luffy's actor is terrible. I'm sorry, he is, bro.
Like people are saying, like he acts like he acts like someone with a fetal like adult child syndrome or some shit. Like, and it's just crazy to me. Like how the quality from season 1, I mean, dropped down to 2. It is crazy,
and the quality wasn't that high in season 1 either. Like season 1 was barely passable to me, at least barely passable. Season 2. This is no better than Dragon Ball Evolution. Okay, I'm not going to go that far. It's definitely better than Dragon Ball Evolution.
That's a take.
Because like at least because with Dragon Ball Evolution they weren't trying. They're trying with the One Piece live action. They're just doing a terrible job at it. But I digress. We were going to talk about manga endings and ones that we think could. We were going to get into manga endings, but we could just save that for next week when Chainsaw Man actually ends, so we can know if this is like truly the ending of the series or not. Unless y'all still want to talk about it, because if not, I have a amazing topic I want to get to.
Yeah, no,
are you talking about the anime? I know you're talking.
I'm down to save it for next week.
I'm down to save it when it ends because Chainsaw Man won't end for 2 more weeks.
Manga. Oh wait, no, we're not doing manga endings. Ladies and gentlemen. Oh no, we also went and had the sequel talk. Damn.
Oh, that's what I thought you were. I thought that's what you were going to talk about. No, man.
I wanted to do the sequel talk, but I think I actually do want Powers bitch ass in here so I can argue with her. I could give the foundation of what my argument about sequels is going to be, and I guess it could give me more time to read and potentially finish Modulo. Shitty ass. But I was gonna say we could discuss about like what makes a good manga sequel and like what makes a good ending for a manga, good or bad. And we're gonna have to have some conversations about Boruto as a sequel. I don't know why we it's just a lot of cap I've been seeing on the internet. And when I say that, let me disclaimer this. Why is it out of focus? I'm talking about Boruto as a sequel to Naruto, not the quality of Boruto itself. Make sense? Kill yourself. Oh,
I think so.
What the fuck?
Wait, we were agreeing with you. What?
No, I was saying to Dudley because he tried to snicker. But
okay,
my whole thing is that Boruto was not a bad sequel to Naruto. If anything, it's probably the best sequel Shonen's ever seen. But that's fine. Yo, Dudley, kill yourself. As a sequel, I'm not going to talk about the quality of writing in Boruto.
We all looked at him.
The quality. Okay, no, fine. We could get to this. Let's not deep dive into it because I do want to save it because I do want to argue with that wench. But like Boruto isn't a bad sequel at all. Like from Boruto literally takes what Naruto ends off with and takes the ending of Naruto, and that is the entire theme, point, and message of Boruto. And Boruto doesn't do anything that's out of like his example. Here's what I originally got this idea when Modulo was first announced. It doesn't take any ideas or concepts and goes crazy with them. Like how Modulo goes from almost modern day Japan to there's aliens now. Kill yourself. Kill yourself.
You haven't read a Modulo, you
I'm not arguing. Yo. You're not understanding what my argument. No. Let me finish.
Okay.
I'm not about to say Modulo is poorly written. But what I have read the first 5 chapters of Modulo, right? That's where I'm at. I'm like chapter 5, chapter 6, right? I'm not going to be talking about the quality of writing in Modulo, but what I can comment on is the concept of aliens being a thing in Jujutsu Kaisen from what we knew of the original series is very out of left field and very hard for me to believe because there was nothing in Jujutsu Kaisen that would get me to believe this. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and I've had this argument in my head. I'm like, maybe I'm tripping. Let me think of other series that have had crazy plot twists that send you into a completely different direction. My first thought was Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball, aliens show up out of nowhere. I'm like, yes, but not really, because Goku's origin is a mystery in Dragon Ball. Goku is a child that is found in the forest that has a fucking tail. Nobody knows how he has that or why he has that. So the idea of Goku being not human is already in your head while you're reading Dragon Ball. So the concept of aliens and Goku being of another race when it's revealed later in Z isn't like
It's not
out of left field. But with Jujutsu Kaisen, I don't think the word alien is even said once in the original manga. Like legit. I don't think the word alien is said once. So going from Sukuna to aliens is a massive jump. Am I wrong? Am I wrong in that?
Okay. But here's my thing, right? Here's my fucking thing. You like I feel like you're being a little disingenuous of how far they fucking turn left from just like from aliens in the Naruto, bro.
Aliens,
Like,
what do you mean?
Listen, nigga boy. Going from fucking Kaguya to Momoshiki to a whole race, like the whole race of aliens invading Earth at once, to fucking them like trying to assimilate with the fucking like sword, like there's
that's not out of
in Boruto that is so far removed.
Okay, here's the hello, my mic check, am I on?
Hello, yo.
Here's I'm stopping you right here. This is where you're wrong. The Momoshiki are introduced in Naruto.
Yeah, no.
Hold on, nigga boy. No. The Momoshiki, well, not Momoshiki, the Otsutsuki are introduced in Naruto. So them expounding on what they are, what they do, and what they're trying to do in the sequel series is not so far out of left field. It's expounding upon what was already placed down, nigga. And also, Boruto's entire character itself is a reflection of Sasuke's prayer and the entire ending of Naruto. Sasuke's hope, Sasuke's prayer. Boruto is the embodiment of that very thing. So they took 2 concepts that Naruto introduced and is just expounding upon them in the sequel series. Whereas Jujutsu Kaisen is taking basically, okay, this is the world of Jujutsu Kaisen and some of the previous cast reappears, but it's damn near a completely different story. I feel like that's not crazy. I feel like that's a very fair argument. And again, I'm not talking about the quality of writing in Modulo because I do not know yet. We can get to that next week if I actually catch up on it. And then we could talk about how ass that series probably is. But the ideas that Boruto and Modulo take, one is expounding upon ideas that was in the original series. Modulo is a new series with some reoccurring characters that's set in the same world. I feel like that's not a crazy take, and I feel like that's very reasonable.
Sure, bro.
You black piece of shit! You black piece of shit! You're a Negro. That's what you are. You know that? You are a fucking Negro. Hold on. Speaking of Jujutsu Kaisen, y'all been wanting a retrospect, right? Y'all been wanting?
No, not really. No.
Nova wanted
No.
one. Power wanted one. Y'all wanted the Jujutsu. Do I do this now? I want to. I was preparing all day for this. Do I want to do this? Do I want to do this? Do I want to do this?
No, you're perfectly fine not to. You really don't.
Nova,
have to.
how are we feeling?
Feeling about what? They're in the retrospective of all of JJK?
Not all of JJK, just some parts. I wrote down some notes that I want to go over again. Kelka, how you feeling? How we feeling?
Honestly, I want to hear it.
You know what? I want to wait till Power gets here, but because you did put a lot of effort into it, let's go ahead and see it.
Bang!
Fucking manga, bro.
Because, like I said, I already got my manga on deck, just so I can do it real quick.
I'm about to hear some bullshit, bro.
You are not about to hear some
got-
bullshit. You
Yo,
are not
I'm putting-
about to hear some bullshit.
I got the manga on deck too. That's
Just-
what I'm reading it right now.
You know what, bro? Look, I don't think JJK is perfect. Maybe a shit I agree with. Maybe.
But let's just see
Okay.
what you got, bro.
Before I say what I'm about to say, can we all agree? There's one claim that I need us all to agree to before we start this.
Okay, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Just because something makes sense doesn't mean it's good. Do we all agree?
Oh man.
Do we all agree? Do we all agree with that claim?
Just because something makes sense.
Just because something makes sense doesn't mean it's good. Do we agree? Does everyone agree with that
Gotta give me an
statement?
example.
No. What do you
Yeah, I
mean you
need an
need it?
example.
What do you mean you need an example?
Because I think there are certain series you can give grievances to that, and then there are some you just can't like. Like I said,
No,
So I think that's
I
more
mean, I
like-
don't
that's
think I don't even think you need an example. Like,
I think that I say no. I say no. Honestly, I'll be real with that. Because if it makes sense, doesn't mean it's good.
you're
I just
saying
think that just depends.
you're
on,
saying
I
you
just think
don't
it just
agree
depends on you. I think that's more like just because that's like more
Like-
opinion based. Because they feel, oh, it makes sense. I just don't like it. Like,
Like,
no,
okay,
but
no,
I feel like
let's take
I
the
feel
One
like there
Piece.
is some objectivity to that. Like,
Let's take the One Piece chapter as an example, right? Like, technically speaking, with Dory and Bragi killing each other and then fixing the curse or whatever, like it does make sense because after Roger and
Garp.
after Roger and fucking Garp killed,
Garp.
yeah, after they killed Rox, he went back to normal. So technically, it does make sense, but it's still dog shit
but it's still
because,
dog. Okay,
like,
yeah. For that example, for something like that, does that make sense? Do y'all agree with that?
Now that's ass. That's ass. Yeah.
Okay, so y'all
Just because it
agree.
makes
Y'all agree with the general claim that just
Yes,
because something
for-
makes
for
sense
sake.
doesn't
Oh.
mean that it's good.
There
Perfect.
we go.
Perfect.
let's
JJK
go.
got a lot of that.
Oh no.
All right. My first thing that I want to talk about with Jujutsu Kaisen, and a lot of this is going to be I'm going to be repeating points that I've had on this podcast before or with Deadly, but now it's a lot more concise, and I actually thought it out instead of just nigga babbling with Deadly back and forth. Right? I'm going to have a clean argument. I'm just going to present my points. We're going to have a discussion. No niggatry. All right? Cool. Gege Okutami is a terrorist. No, I'm kidding. Well, he is, but my first thing, I didn't like map this out as an intro, so I'm just gonna read down the points. All right. The first thing I have here is that the characters in Jujutsu Kaisen are interesting. Cool. Some of them, I would even go as to say, some of them are well written, but not on a consistent basis. And I think some of these characters are good, as individuals, but none of them are good as a collective. Now you may be wondering, what the fuck does that mean, Kobe Bryant? Right? What I mean by this is that I think we could say Yuji, Megumi, maybe not Nobara, Yuji, Megumi, Gojo, they form a group, right? The main group. And Nobara, I don't find her interesting, but I guess you could say all three of these characters are interesting as individuals, right? But as a collective, we all agree that they suck, right? For example, Yuji is the only one who has a meaningful relationship with all three of them, but the rest of them would like Yuji's relationship with Megumi, we all know. Yuji's relationship with Gojo and Nobara, we all know about. But outside of Yuji, if we take away Yuji from that, that group becomes a lot more empty, as I could say.
Static?
Yeah,
empty?
like Megumi and Nobara have zero relationship, right? They're co-workers, if anything, right? Like when Yuji died, they were like, damn, you heard how Yuji died? And she was like, damn, that's crazy. And then he came back, right? No, all right. I'm sorry, my bad. I was about to say,
I was anything, man. Just...
And so yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I think a lot of these characters are interesting as individuals, like by themselves, they can be interesting or even well written sometimes. But I think where JJK suffers a lot is that as a collective, a lot of these characters fall flat and they just aren't as interesting together. And another example of this comes from Maki and Mai, right? I was thinking of this after the season 3 anime came out when Maki awakened. Maki and Mai. I think Mai I don't think Mai's a good character, but I could at least say she's kind of interesting with what was going on with feeling that Maki abandoned her and the abuse she went through with the Zenin clan or whatever, right? But another thing that Gege does is that this is a later point, actually. I'll get to it later. But Mai and Maki together aren't very interesting because
we've had very little interaction with
they have very little interaction with each other besides their very fight. And then so Mai gets introduced, she has her fight with Maki, we learn about Mai, and then the next time we see Mai, she dies to give Maki a convenient power-up, by the way. But no, it's a convenient power-up.
No,
but
okay.
we're gonna I'm gonna get to all that in a second though. Let me cook, right? So my point is basically is that some of these characters are interesting as individuals, but not as collectives, and I think that's where JJK can suffer from, because a lot of these characters, when they're together, there's not a lot of meaningful character interactions in this series. All right, that's point number one. Anything else you guys want to say before I go to the next point?
Okay. There's a lot of things I want to say, but you go ahead.
Okay. Look, I all right. I agree with like the general, like, nigga, how you gonna assume I'm about to disagree? Whatever.
I'm not assuming
I agree with the general point of what you're saying, right?
That they're interesting as individuals, but not as a collective.
Yeah, like I think JJK does suffer a lot from not getting. I think it's a byproduct of a lot of the side characters not having the time to shine, or like the series just being on go post Shibuya. Because like Mai, for example, right? Like the tragedy between her and Maki, like it's written out, like it makes sense, you know. It's like when you think about it, it's heartbreaking, I guess. But like in reference to Mai, you don't really care because like we
know nothing about her.
Yeah, like you've been told that like she's been getting fucked over, and like you're seeing now that like, you know, she's sacrificing herself. It's sad, but you haven't spent any fucking time with her. You don't really care. Same thing for like, and it has a similar effect with characters like Megumi and Nobara, which by the way they do have like interactions and shit, but
barely,
but
and not on the same level as Yuji and Nobara or Yuji and Megumi. Yeah, but go on.
Like
nowhere.
It is a lot less. It is a lot less than like Yuji's interactions. Plus, the moments we do get to see them together, like, are just, they're not that much. And of course, obviously, when fucking Nobara gets taken out the story, and then Nobara only comes back at the end of the series. Megumi gets taken out of the story, so it's just they don't get any time. And obviously with the later characters, again, post Shibuya, everything is go go go, so you don't get any. There's not a lot of like major character interactions there either. So I understand that. I understand your point. Okay, that's fine. I get it.
I want to talk about, like, I guess, like, I agree. We've always talked about that with the whole interactions thing. Like, we always said that, yada yada yada, go go. And that nigga didn't give him no say-sos or conversations with each other. This is why we complain about the filler arc when they had that time skip and they should have, talked to each other more. Gojo was alive and everything. Gojo didn't get to react to anyone dying. He was like, "Oh, whoa, what the fucking do?" Like, Nanami's dead. That nigga, fucking the other niggas blew up and shit. Like, he just didn't care about the principle and everything. So, like, cool, whatever.
And I think,
Wait,
oh, go on.
like you said, because I remember you did mention a few years ago that you said, like, you don't like how lives are treated in JJK. Like, it's just more of a second note type of deal.
I was just about to get to that.
Yeah.
And outside of very few outside of the main cast, actually, besides everyone, besides like Yuji, Yuta, Gojo, like some of those characters like Megumi, like all the side casts, all of them are treated as plot devices and not actual characters. Like, and I'm gonna use Mai again for the biggest example. Mai was a plot device to better Maki rather than treated as an actual character. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Now that's fair.
and I feel like you could say that. I could say that about a lot of other characters as well, not just her. Like I feel like I could say that about. They're all all the entire Kyoto crew. I feel like I can say that about
Just one character.
I'm trying to think of like Hikari. Like I feel like a lot of the cast is just used as a device to move the story forward rather than being treated as their own character. Besides Megumi, Yuji, Yuta, Sukuna, and Gojo. I feel like every other character is literally just a tool for Gege to move the story forward. And it's like, it's just really uninteresting and boring way of writing. Yeah.
I think that one, I do agree with you on the plot devices thing. When it was more like, she was holding Maki back. They've touched on it before about the twins thing, but like we saw it in action. It was just like, oh, Mai existed just to make Maki weak. And like the whole point, like, because like without, like, for example, like Maki is basically a Toji clone, or at least what the fan base refers her as, female Toji. And that's like her only thing. And Mai basically made her into that. And like without that device, that plot device, Maki would have never like seen her potential as the Toji clone and other things like
Which
that.
is a thing
Which
in
is
itself.
a
That's
thing in itself. But and then like there's also like Yuki was done very, very fucking dirty considering the impact she had in the story.
Oh my! Yuki is like might be the biggest offense of this. Oh my god!
Yuki, like I said, I get villains and raising the stakes and making them a threat. I get all of that. I get and I understand you have to make your villain a threat. You have to make him kill off a character and make him like, yo, take me seriously or you're gonna fucking lose somebody. But Yuki, considering how the impact she had in his inventory with the ghetto conversation and plan to her plan about getting rid of curses is kind of like a prevalent thing that even leads into Modulo. And then the third thing about like her, like with the impact she had on Todo, the impact she had on Toji, like, with Gojo and everybody else, the massive impact that she had on the story and was done dirty by Kenjaku, who just basically beat her like, oh, I took over Yuji's mom's body and had an anti-gravity technique. And then just fucking killed her. And then I'm like,
which is also
I wanted more from her, because like I said, you can't have characters that have like, it's like, for example, like, what's a good example like of a character that has a lot of stuff? It's like killing off like someone like Garp, or like someone who's important into the story, and you just kill that nigga when you first see him in like fucking in his lobby. And then like it wouldn't make any sense because they've had a lot of impact into the story and like all that nature, and you just do them dirty like that.
It would be like having Shanks in the beginning and then the next time we see Shanks is like what? Marineford, and like he dies in Marineford. That's what it would be like.
That would be like, it would be, like that. It would just be ass. And it's just like, you can't have characters that are like have so much impact to the story and then they just die like that. And in a kind of like in a bullshit kind of way. Like it's bullshit, but it's not at the same time because it's Kenjaku. But like she was done the dirtiest considering like she had like a lot of potential, not potential, but like a lot of like things into the story that like that she was going for. Like I said, the whole curses thing, the whole plan that she had with Ghetto, and she talked to him like, you would be fucking crazy to do what Ghetto did. She's not the reason, but if she didn't bring it up to Ghetto, then that nigga would have been like, I didn't even know that was an option for real. But like, it's just like, I do agree with you in the plot devices thing because there are characters like that. I think the only deaths that matter in the series that are like not like that is like Nanami, Rika, not Rika. What is her name? Rico?
Yeah,
Rico, and then like, I guess like, Gojo, and Choso and Gojo. Those are like those 4 deaths are like the main important ones that I think don't feel like just contrived bullshit plot devices that are just there to enhance the story, but are there to impact the characters and impact and talk about the story. About we should start giving more of a fuck about the sorcerers. They go through a lot. Curses are like, you know, a thing, and we need to get rid of them, but we also don't want to take people's freedoms away. We're not superheroes, we're sorcerers, but we're also human. They don't want to repeat the sins of the past. There's a lot of themes there, but like, and those deaths revolve like everything about them, about like what the story is trying to tell. But there are some plot device deaths like that just are there just to like shock value and fucking move the story forward. So I do agree with you pretty much. Yeah.
There's so many avenues I could take this now. Oh, which one do I want to go to? Should I go in chronological order?
Do not bring up Gojo 236, bro. If I have to explain that to you one more fucking time, I'm gonna kill myself.
So in 236, why? And this nigga kills that up. 236 is the worst chapter in the fucking series, and I'm tired of pretending it's not.
God damn it, dude!
You niggas. And okay, here's the thing. No. Before I say that, I want to say a few things. Right. Number one, this is gonna be a hot take. You're gonna call me a dumb nigga, something. All right. Let me think how I want to word this real quick.
Say Sukuna
hot take.
loses the Gojo.
I think Jujutsu Kaisen. Well, no, he does lose the Gojo without 10 shadows. But
okay.
Don't make me power.
Okay, no.
I'm not. None of my takes in this are power scaling wise. So we don't even have to do that, right? I
mean, he's right.
I think
he's wrong, actually.
JJK.
Yo, that really trying to lie, bro. It's real disrespectful.
I'm trying to think of how I want to word this. JJK tries to be very intellectual, and I think Gege is a dumbass. I'm gonna be quite frank, right?
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Let me finish, right? And I think that a lot of Jujutsu Kaisen fans do a lot of legwork or come up with just random bullshit to make sense of what Gege is trying to say or do. And it's not actually that intellectual as he makes you try to like. I need to get back to you on this. Okay, actually, forget the whole thing. I need to think about this one.
I was going to say because I
need to think about this one more. I need to think about this one more.
Because are you talking about like big words, the power system,
everything,
like the story,
everything? Now you look like a pedophile.
What does that mean, though?
Yeah, okay, what does that mean? So what does everything mean? That's the question I'm trying to understand.
From the ideology of some of the characters, from how the power system works, from just like literally like everything. I think just get back to me on it. I'll come back next week with a more thought. This one was like a last minute thought I tried to get to, right? So I wasn't gonna go to. All right. Just
Gege use big words, everyone.
No.
I don't know, bro.
Right. Let me.
Yo, Neil, get your black ass off the camera, nigga.
I think. Actually, no, because now I want to think. Now I want to think this one through. So give me a second.
Yo,
you know how
bro.
you know how in Danganronpa, like they go into a what's the shit Hajime or Makoto be doing? Where like they're thinking of something, like they're playing a mini game in their head, but
Yo,
in
get to
real
the point,
time,
bro.
how everyone is just like looking at them. Let me do that real quick. Let me do like a deep dive. Let me do a mind dive real quick. Yo, talk about some shit. Entertain the viewers. Hold on.
Nigga, what?
What?
Yo, oh my god.
Hold on.
Dude.
All right, I can't do it right now. I can't think of it right now. I can't think of it right now. Get back to me, all right? And if I think of it before we record next week, I'll say it, right? But
Okay.
I think but basically TLDR, what I'm going to try to say, JJK isn't actually that deep. I think the fans trying to make it more deep than it actually is. And Gege is a dumbass. But I'm gonna expound on that later. All right.
I think that's stupid. But
I think you're stupid. All right.
All right, can we go on to the next one?
236 ruins Gojo's character.
no, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. And I'm gonna explain why. Let me get to it.
Come on.
Let's
hear it.
236 has Gojo acting. See, and I've thought about this for a while, but I didn't want to have this argument because everybody and their mama likes to that chapter, even though it fucking sucks for many reasons. But I'm not even going to get into Gojo losing, Gojo's death. I don't care. That's not the issue with it. I think the issue in this chapter comes from Gojo's discussions in the afterlife, right? So, in the afterlife, and I also reread some of it without the John Wary translations, right? So I'm not that nigga isn't feeding me propaganda or whatever, right? So I'm gonna bring it up again real quick. So in this flashback, right, Gojo claims that he doesn't even know if he could have beaten Sukuna, correct? But two times in the series, Gojo says, nah, I'd win, when asking if he could beat Sukuna, right? And the issue with this lies in, it's not the fact that Gojo says he lost. My issue with 236 and how Gojo was talking and why I think, and many other people claimed it to be out of character for Gojo, is because every time that we've seen Gojo, well, number one, when he's asked who would win if he would have fight Sukuna, he said, I'd win. I think the first time he said it would, I think his exact words were, it would be tough, but I'd definitely win. And then the second time, it's the famous, nah, I'd win. So we know that, right? So him now saying that, I don't even know if I could have beaten Sukuna, man. That's the king of curses. He's so strong. It's completely out of character because Gojo has, listen, let me finish. Because as we know for Gojo, he has literally never shown doubt in his ability to do, he's never shown doubt in his ability, right? Let me finish. You guys are, let me fucking finish. Let me fix my camera. Let me fix my camera as well.
Of course you do.
No, listen. I'm not talking bullshit. And if you got, and like, y'all can refute. You can refute afterwards, right? Gojo's entire thing. Okay, let me go back. Let me read exactly what I said, right? This is a direct contradiction to what we know about Gojo up until this point because he's never shown doubt in his own ability. Only certainty that he is the strongest, correct? In the hidden inventory out, Gojo makes a statement that he alone is the honored one, correct? And his entire character from that point to now is that he is the strongest, he alone is the honored one, and the entire world also sees it as that way. I think the only person in this series that doesn't view him as the strongest is Sukuna, which doesn't matter because to Gojo, and we also know that ego does play a role into like jujutsu sorcery and all that other shit. So, so here's my next point. So Gojo going that seemingly believing that Sukuna, okay, it's my fault, right? So Gojo making this claim in the afterlife that Sukuna was always stronger than him is weird because it almost seems like Gojo always thought that Sukuna was stronger than him. And I'm asking, did he lie? Did he lie to us, the viewers? Himself? Was he just feeding his own delusion? Or was Gege just a bot, right? And let's go with the path. Let's go with the path, right? That Gojo it's an ego thing. He's just hyping himself up. It's like, nigga, I'm the strongest. Nobody can beat me. Yada 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 yada. That would be completely fine. But I think if you were going to do this, you should have at least sprinkled in the idea that Gojo might just be chatting some shit. But as we all know, because it's a meme, that everyone in the entire series and Gojo himself has always been like, that's the strongest. Nobody can fuck with Gojo. The only person that might be able to fuck with Gojo is Sukuna. But even Gojo himself is saying, I'd beat the hell out of Sukuna. Sukuna's a bum. I'm the strongest. Nobody could compare it to me. You might be the fastest sorcerer, but you want Satoru Gojo, of course. All right.
Okay. Are you done?
Okay.
I'll finish my. I'll finish now. I'll let y'all respond to what I said so far.
Okay. Go first.
Okay.
Explain. I'm here to have a discussion. Right.
Okay. All right. One small thing, and then I'll start talking about the themes and such and all that shit. The actual translation is close. When Gojo says it would have been close, it's closer to him saying like it would have still been close if he didn't have 10 shadows, or he doesn't know would have won, because it genuinely still could have gone either way.
Oh wait, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when I said when he says it might be close, but I still think I'm talking about the first time Yuji asked him, not when he already died. I think when Yuji first asked him, I think Gojo's exact words were, it would be close, but I definitely win, or something like that. Right? I'm not talking about the afterlife thing. The afterlife, that's something else. Wait, go on.
Okay. So for my next point, I'd still like to reiterate that he does say it would be close. Okay, but all right, a big theme of JJK, is might makes right, right? Like, they talk about strength, the strongest, all that. Gojo and Sukuna are two people who, in their respective time periods, were bar none the strongest at the top. The big theme of JJK is when you're at that point, there is no one else you can relate to. You are lonely. You're standing on a pillar by yourself. Gojo at the beginning of the series tells Yuji this in full confidence, like, yeah, if I fought Sukuna, I would win. And because at that point he's been standing on this pillar by himself, he's never had to change his mind. He's never had to change his perspective. He's never had to change anything about the way he thought. Because see, there's a I'm not gonna ignore that nigga. But anyways, there's been no reason for Gojo to ever change his perspective, because he's as strong as he is, his way was always the right way. But when Sukuna re-enters the fray, and more specifically gets all his fingers and shit back, now there's finally someone on that pillar with Gojo. Now there's someone actually talking with him. Now there's someone actually communicating. At that point, and only after that point, does a change this change become possible for the both of them. In Gojo's case, obviously, it's when accepting Sukuna's strength and the fact that, it could have gone either way. But also, you get a bit more in the chapter of 236 with, the whole strength is lonely, strength is love thing, all that shit with Yoruzu. Gojo lamenting that he threw everything that he had at Sukuna, and although, again, close, it still wasn't enough. And the fact that Gojo just flat out had the most fun in his life, with that fight. It reveals a lot of things for Gojo that wouldn't have come about before. And you see things that only happened as a result as him being able to communicate with someone for the first time. Sukuna's case comes at the end of the series after they beat him. You see him talking with Mahito, where he's talking about, oh, actually, there are two paths I could have gone down instead of just the one I did. The only reason this revelation is able to come from him is because he was beaten in the first place. Him seeing strength that surpassed his for the first time in his life was able to bring about change in his mindset, and that's why he decides, if I am reborn, maybe it would be worth it to walk down another path, to maybe not be good, but at least to see other ways of living. For both Gojo and Sukuna, this moment where they fight was the very first time there was any reason or it was the very first time they were able to change their mind, because again, they've been by themselves for their entire lives. So it just it seems like it seems bullshit that go after how arrogant Gojo's been with his strength, that all of a sudden he's like, well, I mean, it was close, but there's been no reason in his entire life for that arrogance to shake, to change, to disappear. And the same goes for Sukuna. Only after that fight does that disappear for the both of them. So yeah, that's how I feel about it.
Can I say something real quick too?
Yeah.
Okay. I think, like I said, the whole 236 thing. Were you mainly talking about the airport scene with the whole strongest thing, or like Gojo being humble, or Yuji in general? Like
Wait,
all
say that
the
again?
things
You
that
cut
were
out.
like,
Say the last part again.
oh, hold on. So were you talking about like how Gojo was saying Sukuna would give him trouble and things of that nature, like throughout the whole series, or are you saying that like in general it just doesn't feel like Gojo would say things like that?
I was saying that from how we knew Gojo up until that very moment, him now him being as arrogant as he was throughout the entire series, and then for the next chapter, that the next time we see him on the screen, he's like, man, I don't even know if I could have beaten Sukuna. He's so strong. That's the king of curses type shit and all that. It was very out of left field and out of character for him. That's what I was saying.
I think going back like through the whole series, like I said, we know Gojo, blah blah blah. He's arrogant, all that other stuff, because no one's giving him a challenge, yada yada yada. And it's just gonna segue to Deadly's point, so I'm just gonna say it like this: that like until Sukuna like got full power and he fought him for himself, was he truly able to see all the things and see how powerful he was and going off at everything? Like I said, Sukuna is strong because of how much knowledge he knows of jujutsu sorcery. He's strong too, but his technique is weak as shit. Like, if we're gonna be real, if anyone else had his technique, that nigga is like, it's not as good. I think like majority of what makes Sukuna as powerful as he is just the knowledge and what he's able to do, the binding vows, the domain expansions, how he's able to just use people's techniques right after just seeing them. I think that's what makes Akuna more like strong and everything. And I think also Gojo is humble enough to admit where someone has more potential than him or is stronger than him. He mentioned this to Yuji and Megumi before about Megumi's like the whole Mizugane clan and the Gojo clan and the like Zenin clan about how they killed each other off because of Maharaga and everything. He's mentioned this to like Megumi saying, you could be even stronger than me. You're on the same level as me. You can be as good as me. Like someone who wasn't humble wouldn't say shit like that. At least considering what I know. And same thing with Yuji. You may inherit Sukuna's techniques and you might be on my level. You might be stronger than me. And I want to raise a generation that is stronger than me as well. A person like, I don't think it comes out of left field for Gojo to say things that are humble to himself, and nor that it's like saying that like you're gonna be better or stronger than me. Because someone who is arrogant wouldn't say shit like that. Sukuna be like, bah, you won't be stronger than me. You're a bitch ass nigga. It's just kind of like that. So I just don't think it's out of left field for Gojo to just say that Sukuna is stronger than me, this and that and the third, and then calling it kind of out of left field. When I think Gojo has been humble from the start. He's confident in his ability, but he's always been humble, as I always say. But that's what I think.
I think humble with
Because humble is
Gojo.
just like, yeah.
I want to consider him humble. I think he had hope for the future, and that's what would make him say those things to Yuji and Megumi and Obara. But when he's fighting,
to be replaced.
when he's fighting an actual opponent, he's never shown anything like
Humility.
that. Yeah, anything like that before. So I don't know if I can say that. But this also leads into my next point. That's what I was gonna say. Everything y'all said makes sense, but here's where I think Gege loses me the most, and I was wondering what it was, because I always knew what it was, but I never really knew how to put it into words. I think Gege has a writing technique that only ruins Jujutsu Kaisen for me, and I think for many other people. And I've seen people explain it. I was at. Wait, let me think. Is there anything else I want to respond to before I move on? Let me think. Oh, there's also another thing. I have to look more into this before I bring it up. but Gojo's whole like life purpose being how he wants to like rewrite the jujitsu world and like change the jujitsu world, but doesn't really him or anyone else, not just him, really. There's only one person, funny enough, right? We're gonna get to it, right? I think it's weird how he wants to change the jujitsu world, but doesn't really do anything to push forward with that besides trying to raise a new crop. But he only is really mentoring and training Yuji, I think is interesting. And I think even Nanami, because I'm reading 236 again, Nanami even brings it up himself. He says, I don't see where the conversation starts exactly, but Namini says to him, he's like, after all, you never cared about keeping sorcery going or protecting people. You were in it for your own self-satisfaction, right? So there's a big theme and message about how Gojo wants to change the world, doesn't like the current standing of the Jujutsu world. But I think it's interesting to me how none of that really goes anywhere. And the only person that is actually trying to make a change is the main antagonist, right? And the same main antagonist is the one that they're all trying to like. Granted, is he going about it Hitler style? Right, correct. He is.
That's censored.
No,
That's
I can say that. Is he going about it in a bad way? Yes, but he's the only. Ghetto's the only one that was like actually trying to make some shit shake. Like the way okay, what? Again, I have to think about this and like reread some things before I can fully give my take on this. But from my understanding and remembering, Yuki and Gojo ain't really do shit to push the needle. But we can get to that we could get to that at a different time. Go on if you want to respond to that.
Oh,
Alright,
okay.
man.
No, my bad. You meant like ghetto, not okay. Never mind.
Okay, no, because I was going to ask the same thing.
Ghetto. Wait, what you mean?
Are you talking about
You meant like JJK, like JJK Zero Ghetto, not like fucking
Kenjaku, right?
Parasite Ghetto, right?
Like, are you talking about the main antagonist wanted to change, like shake
Or
shit
do-
up like
do-
Kenjaku
do you
or
mean
Ghetto?
Kenjaku? Because that
I'm
nigga
trying to
was
think.
trying to commit genocide. That nigga wasn't trying to change it.
Like I was about to say, that nigga literally wanted to amalgamate everyone.
Yeah, I think I'm talking about Ghetto. I'm pretty sure I'm talking about Ghetto. Yeah.
Okay. See, now I get it.
Okay. No, yeah. So like the only one that's trying to really change the Jujutsu world is Ghetto, and then they stop Ghetto, but then they don't really do anything afterwards to like make a change.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's like
Now I'm getting what you're saying now. I'm getting what you're saying. I want to talk about this in a second.
Yeah, I partially agree with that because okay, I'll disagree on the point that Gojo didn't do much to like move that forward because Gojo was in a weird spot.
at least
Because,
nothing
like,
that we
as-
saw. Like we might have been told, but that's another thing we're gonna get into. But go
Yeah.
on.
Like as the strongest, he says this like during
Multiple times.
Yeah, in the beginning of the series, but like he had two options, give or take. Either A, fucking murder the higher ups and cause change, or B, raise the next generation. Because of that barrier, like as a monster between him and everybody else, the rest of the Jujutsu society, there is no way he could have like taken control of things without it seeming like a monarchy or people listening to him out of fear. It just wasn't possible for someone like him. So he had the option of raising the next generation to become strong enough to like spearhead the future of Jujutsu society and not like do the bullshit the higher ups are doing. Or he could have just killed the higher ups, but then it leads to the same scenario where niggas think it's a fucking monarchy and people listen to him out of fear, which he didn't want. So I don't think he didn't do anything to like help in that regard. But at the same time, I do think that entire like plot line is kind of
Ass.
under addressed in JJK.
Address me. Like,
Yeah.
and it's like, and I think, and that also leads to what we were talking about with Yuki earlier, is that like, at least in my head, there was like a big three, right? Of like people that were at the top, right? And it was Gojo, Ghetto, and Yuki. And then like you have Ghetto who goes his path, you have Gojo who goes his path, and then you have Yuki who showed up and like I don't think she was ever said like
she wasn't like on the same level as like Gojo, but she was like kind of within that realm. She was considered like very fucking
She was just
strong.
very strong. She was very strong.
Right.
Yes.
And then like she has her own ideals and logic and ideas, but none of them really go anywhere. And instead of trying to make her a character, he just has her die for whatever reason. But
yeah, and
you
like
know,
and then that's what I wanted them to like touch upon, because we don't know like not much about Yuki's plan. We know Geto's was to kill all regular humans, non-sorcerers, to get rid of curses. Gojo's was to raise a better like, type of people to understand the politics and like have more people in like better positions and higher positions and have like more of like a grasp on the world than he did. And then Yuki, we just don't know jack shit of what she wanted to do. We just only knew what the end goal was.
And I feel like Gojo did a shit job of trying to like. I feel like he just did a shit job of it.
And now that's when we get to that. Like I wanted to talk about the flaw of that. Like I said, Gojo,
like he didn't try. Like he tried with Yuji, but that's it. He tried with Yuji, and that's it. Like
he did try, but like, and then the thing is, like I said, it's just the main thing about Gojo's character, what people perceive them as. Do you perceive him as a weapon, or do you perceive him as a human? And Gojo didn't like. It was like what Deadly said earlier. He was in a very fickle spot. It's why like people, that's why you didn't want the world like, can we stop thinking about Gojo? Can we stop using this shield? They were using his name as a shield. They were using this as a thing. They were using it as a thing. They can't move forward if you keep having something to protect you. If you always have something if you always have something to slip back on, if you always have this, you're always going to fall back into the same problem. And that was what the thing was. At least mainly, that Gojo couldn't really do much. He could kill the curses. He could go kill Sukuna. He could go do this, do that, but it wouldn't change shit at the end of the day. He's just blowing shit up and just stopping the enemy and fighting people. But with like raising the generation, he could at least have someone up there to like at least stop, like, or like more nuance and things like that, like to like at least be able to do something about the JJK world, because it wasn't like a one overnight solution. Like we're talking about like something that had the sequel series had to do. Like it's just a lot about that mainly like Gojo's flaw was that he could do a lot, but he couldn't do much, if you get what I'm saying. It's just like
yeah. I will say I think your issue is less Gojo didn't do enough and more he didn't do enough on screen, because I don't
Gojo,
mean that. I don't mean that
and on screen just gives me PTSD.
Look,
that's another thing,
because we do like see him, like we see through flashbacks and characters talk about. We know he trained Yuta. We know he trained Hikari. We know he trained Panda, Yuji. We know he was training Megumi. Like he was training all these characters to get stronger. They just never showed it.
And also he's
rightfully had a problem with.
And it's also like very evident, and people always talk about it, but Gojo's a fucking shit teacher. He's a shit teacher. Like, unless you're Yuji. But
that I think that's overblown. Like he's bad at teaching like actual shit to people, but like
he can give you concepts.
He knows what niggas need to do, but he can't show you how to do it.
It's like
he gives Megumi the mindset to succeed. He's like, he probably helped Hikari.
We're gonna get to that.
Like I can tell you, like, you need to work on shooting threes, but I can't tell you how to shoot threes. Like it's just basically that. But
this is going to lead into my next point. And as for why I think this is actually the biggest offense of Jujutsu Kaisen, it's nothing within the actual series. It's Gege. Gege's, I'm gonna read exactly what I said. Gege's constant use of retrospective explanations to recontextualize an event that is happening simultaneously is straight up dog shit and lazy, and is only used to cover up his terrible writing decisions. Now, I will expound upon that.
Okay.
Yeah, please do.
What I mean by what I've been thinking of this the whole time, but I never knew how to word it. what I mean by retrospective flashbacks and explanations is what we saw during the entire Shinjuku showdown. An event will happen, and then we would get a flashback the next chapter to explain said event. Example, Yuta taking over Gojo's body, right? We knew nothing of this was going to happen, like not even the slightest idea. But he would make these decisions, and I feel like he would try to justify them or make them make sense by giving us a flashback of what happened beforehand to try to justify it. But I don't think giving, I don't think necessarily constantly giving us a flashback of what happened beforehand. So, like, oh, this was always going to happen. So that's why it makes sense that it's happening now. I don't think that's like a good writing technique at all. I think there is one time where this worked and it's actually really well, and it actually changed my mind a little bit on a certain character, that being Megumi. I think there's a good example of when this happened and a bad example. I think a good example of this retrospective flashback, the thing that I'm talking about, is Megumi using his domain for the first time. And here's the reason why I think it works with the Megumi situation, but it doesn't work with other situations. With the other situations, there will be no foreshadowing, no sprinkle, no idea of something like this happening. Because it's also going to lead to another point I have of how Yuta taking over Gojo's body was a dog shit moment. Almost ruined Yuta's character, but too much. I like that nigga too much. That I see your black ass. Stop it. Stop it. Don't piss me off. This is going to lead into how I was going to say, I think, okay, I was going to say what I was going to say. There is no idea. Okay, I'm going to read exactly what I said. There's no moment or time where Yuta was willing to show, I think the exact words that they say is that he's willing to be, I think the exact way he said that he's willing to become a monster like Gojo. Am I correct about that? He said he was willing to become a monster if it meant defeating Sukuna, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me finish, right? Before I see you looking at me like I'm a, you know what I'm saying? Let me finish, right? There's been no time at all where we've seen Yuta before where it doesn't seem like in Yuta's character that he's willing to do anything or something as, what's the word? Not demoralizing,
Drastic.
like something as drastic as dehumanizing as taking over Gojo's body if it means beating Sukuna. But we know that he ends up doing it, and then we get his reasoning after he's already done it. And then we see that he's like, oh, he's like, and like, I think Maki's the only one that has some kind of pushback. He's like, this isn't moral, like we can't do this. But Gojo's like, but he's like, oh, this is what Gojo Sensei would do, and if it means becoming a monster, I would do it. I don't remember exactly what he said. Right? He said some bullshit like that. Right? So I think, and this just like there hasn't been anything that has hinted to Yuta having that kind of mindset that, oh, I'm willing to do anything if it means this or whatever, or like he's never been the mindset that, because like the whole thing was that he was comparable to Gojo, but he wasn't going to be the next Gojo. And I know the situation was definitely different, like desperate times call for desperate measures, but I think if you were going to have something as big as I'm taking over Gojo's body, which will also lead into my next question I have about them relying on Gojo so much, but if you're going to take over Gojo's body, I feel like there should have been a little bit more pushback or more of a dialogue to be had before Yuta's all like, yeah, fuck it, bro, let's do it. I'll become that monster, fuck it. So I think that's a bad example of the retrospective flashback thing that I'm speaking of. I think a good example would be with Megumi and how he uses domain for the first time. My reasoning for this is that we know Megumi to be a bitch ass nigga the whole time, that he was the type of nigga it's like, oh, I'm willing to die. I'm willing to die for this mission. So like, it doesn't matter if I die as long as the job gets done, right? But we knew his whole thing was that he didn't have an ego. He didn't have the confidence and yada, yada. You already know. I don't have to get into it because y'all already know. So when we get to the death painting arc or whatever, and he uses his domain expansion and we get that moment
of where he's about to like summon Maharanga or whatever, but then he's like, you know what, fuck it, and this pops a like a concept of a domain, and he wins the fight, and then we get the flashback afterwards of Gojo telling him, like, you know, the whole thing where it's like, oh, he's explaining how ego takes play into Jujutsu sorcery, and how you have to like the whole spill and all that shit. I think that was a good idea because the idea of Megumi not having the confidence or the ego was already sprinkled beforehand, before this actually happened, right? So we didn't see the flashbacks before he actually popped the domain, but him saying fuck it and then popping the domain and then getting the flashback, it justifies his reasoning for doing that because all of the setup was already there. Makes sense? Like, I feel like I'm kind of rambling, but like, I feel like what I'm trying to say makes sense, right?
I have some issues.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, God. Go on.
You
Okay.
always do.
Look. I think you've misunderstood Yuta's character. Okay.
Oh my God. It's not even necessarily like. Okay, go on. I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna see what you say.
When Yuta is talking about becoming a master, he's not saying that he's not the I'm willing to do anything as long as you win character type. He's not that type of person. What Yuta was
Right.
saying there is that for their entire lives, they've pushed the role of doing whatever is necessary onto Gojo. And if Gojo dies, and mind you, it's still an if at this point when they're talking. If
Right.
Gojo dies, someone is going to have to take that spot no matter what happens. It's not something they can run away from. Yuta got mad in that scene because they had no problem pushing it onto Gojo. But now all of a sudden, when one of them has to step up, now all of a sudden people are worried.
Nobody wants to do it.
Yeah.
Or like there's pushback when Yuta does it as well. So
like,
yeah.
and see, Yuta, he does a similar, like, you can tell that he's, because at the
Wait,
beginning of
what?
Sendai, when he does the when he goes against when he has the 1v4, he starts the arc is started off by Yuta killing the cockroach nigga and saying, I won't let Gojo kill his best friend again. I'm not going to let
I'll
anyone
take that
or myself
burden.
put him in that situation again. Yuta's
Right.
motivation isn't like, oh, I'll do whatever is necessary. It's he doesn't want to let the people around him shoulder burdens just by themselves. Because in Yusa's head, that's effectively what he's been doing because he wasn't there. He wasn't there in Shibuya, so he let people like Yuji, Gojo, Nobara, Megumi, everybody shoulder that burden by themselves. He did it like he feels he's the reason. Him not being there is the reason things have gotten that bad to this point. So he
Mhm.
wants to step up and shoulder some of that burden. That's why he got so mad there, because like he should be shouldering some of that burden. So and going on with that, like no one has a response to that because he's right. Like everyone has an issue with that. No one wants him to throw himself in the way, and people do think taking over Gojo's body is fucked up, but he's right. Like they shouldn't just be pushing on the Gojo, and once Gojo dies, if Gojo dies, someone does need to take that spot. That's why when Gojo like immediately agrees after he's been asked if that's okay, no one can say anything.
Because
That's
Gojo said like,
also
"Hey, nigga,
why-
I'm dead."
But and this leads to my next thing. Why would Gojo even agree to that? If we know Gojo,
Because-
hold on. This is the problem with the retro. This is my issue with the like flashbacks, the consistent flashbacks, right? I'm trying to remember what I'm pretty sure it's after, but after is when we get the whole speech about. Well, no, actually, no, this is way before. Gojo doesn't want everyone to keep relying on him, but we get like the big explanation after, like at the end of the series, or like closer to the end of the series, after the arc is already finished, right? So it's like Gojo's whole thing is that he doesn't want another Satoru Gojo. He doesn't want people to just rely on one person to be at the top. But their plan still relies on Gojo even after he's dead, right? Am I wrong in that?
I mean, that's different.
I mean,
when
like,
Gojo,
go
when
on.
Gojo was talking about he doesn't want people to keep relying, he means in like a societal kind of way, not like, oh shit, there's a fucking nuclear bomb and we have to kill it right fucking now or we're all gonna fucking die. Like
It's just more like they don't want him to like for example, like, oh, Satoru Gojo, no one can do this unless you're Satoru Gojo. People don't want like to be.
I
It just
mean,
limits the growth. Like it just limits like
it's still
society.
limiting your.
rely on
I mean, yeah, but their plan is still doing that because they're just none of them are using their own power. They're still using Gojo to like their plan was okay. Even if Gojo dies, we're going to take his body and still use his power. Like it's not like quite the same, but it's still the same concept that you're relying on Gojo.
Well, not like if you mean like because it would be like saying that like oh, if someone summoned like hold on, that's a bad example. Like it's like I get what you're saying. Like they're using his corpse to use his powers, and even then, it's not like it won them the fight because
Yeah, and that's going to lead to another thing about
anyway.
how the plan didn't even fucking work anyway. But that's just
yeah. I mean, like it's like I mean, it wasn't gonna work 100%. Like I said, but I mean, I get what you're saying though.
Like
But
yeah,
it's
like
just
one of their contingencies still relied on Gojo, and I feel like if Gojo wanted to push this whole narrative of I want the next generation to use their own power.
Wait, no, wait, hold on. So you're saying that like to not give him a better advantage, don't use my corpse. Actually, y'all should just no. Wait,
I feel like
I disagree.
no. Hold on, look. I know what you're gonna be like. It's a life and death scenario. You're fighting fucking Sukuna. In my head, logistically, this whole arc would be fucking rewritten. And one day, I'm gonna drop the rewrite of Jujutsu Kaisen.
I don't think you need to do that. I don't think you need to do that.
No.
I'm not gonna hold you as it. Like, okay,
look,
I'm gonna be okay. Go ahead, and I'm gonna say something real quick. But like, go ahead.
In an idealistic world, the way I think after Gojo died, they shouldn't have gone. I think it would have served the narrative better, right? And I think you could have even honed in this whole thing of like Gojo wanting everyone to like use their own power and all this other bullshit, right? I think if you have them like if there be Sukuna versus Gojo, and then for some reason they retreat, get away somehow. Sukuna lets them get away somehow. Some bullshit, right? I'm not an author, right? And then they go back in. No, actually, this is irrelevant. This doesn't even matter. This is irrelevant. This is irrelevant. What was the last thing that was said? What was the last thing that was said?
Shit, bro? This is a matter of reading comprehension.
It's not even a matter of reading comprehension. What was I saying before that? You guys actually made me lose my thought.
You were talking about how like it would have served better for the narrative or some shit like that.
No, I'm talking about before that. I'm talking about before that.
I think that's what you were talking about before.
Is that what I was talking about? Okay.
That's what I said.
Yes. I was saying, like, see, what y'all are saying would make sense, but the plan didn't fucking work anyway, so they ended up using their own power and everything anyway, right? Hold on, let me finish. Correct? So I think if because they had multiple plans as well, so I think
did he just die?
No, I'm thinking. Hold on.
Oh.
I just genuinely, like
because like I don't want it to sound like I'm saying Gojo should have been like, oh fuck y'all, if y'all can't win without me, then you're all gonna die. Because like that's what it sounds like I'm saying, but like that's not what I'm saying.
It kind of does sound like what you're saying. He's like, he should have said no to using my corpse.
Okay, because like I'm thinking about it. Because it's weird. Because like I'm thinking about it in hindsight, knowing that using Gojo's body was going to fail anyway. So it's like I don't think Gege should have used that at all if it was going to fail anyway, because like now it puts us in this scenario where it's like Gojo's whole thing is that he doesn't want people to rely on him and his power, right? But one of their contingency plans is that they use Gojo and his power. I feel like that kind of goes against what he wants and for them to use their own power, which they end up doing anyway. So why even bring up the idea of using Gojo and his body if it wasn't going to do anything anyway? It kind of feels like you just like sure, go ahead.
It did do a lot of things, okay? First off, no one there was domain clashing with that nigga except Joe. Sukuna got his domain back. Them niggas would have been fish filleted if you didn't do that. Number one.
Mm.
Number two, Yuta holding the barrier up is what let Yuji get that black flash off, and additionally, what let him get the domain expansion off in the first place because Yuta domain clashed with him. If Yuta didn't do that, Yuji would have been fish filleted. Okay. So I don't think, and additionally, obviously, the hollow purple damaged him, all that, whatever. But like Yuta was like, if I'm putting it into contributions, Yuta is probably the second or third biggest reason they won that fight, including the Gojo taking over Gojo's body.
He's third, Toto
Like,
second.
I don't think. Well, that's kind of Toto, guys. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't think you can like. He didn't have like a flashy big like, oh, he beat Sukuna to the fucking brink of death performance. But saying he didn't help is kind of crazy. He's the
No,
reason
I didn't even say he didn't help. I was
like,
saying that their plan didn't
him taking
work.
over Gojo is the reason they won.
Wait, what?
Him taking over Gojo is the reason they won, because if he didn't, everybody would have died. Frame one, right there.
And I think, like I said, I get what you were saying about the whole
but
using
like
Gojo's power for the narrative. Like, I think that's one Isaiah's main thing.
This goes
Like,
back into what I started this conversation with. Just because it makes sense doesn't mean it's good.
Okay,
like everything y'all are saying makes. Okay, go on.
I just think you just don't like it.
I don't think your reason for thinking it's bad makes too much sense either, because like, again, them being in front of the walking nuclear bomb and having to use any means possible doesn't contradict with the fact that Gojo wanted them to stop relying on him. If that's the case, Gojo shouldn't have fought in the first place. He's like, go my children.
Wait, how about y'all like weaken him, use the stamina, and then I fight the nigga and I jump in.
Like, okay, Gojo wanting people, them having to use Gojo's power to beat the strongest nigga in the verse does not contradict the message of Gojo wanted them to stop using him as like this pillar, this safeguard, like the center of all things. That those two things do not contradict each other. Okay?
Because even then, Gojo at the end of the day is still dead.
Like,
unfortunately.
And like they just don't contradict each other. Like it would have been more stupid than anything you said if you said had a copy in his back pocket, had Gojo's body safely secured, and was like, oh no guys, Sukuna's about to use the domain, we're fucking cooked. And like all of the audience knew he could have taken over Gojo's body. Like it's not even like it was a thing they could have skipped over either, because we knew Yuta took Kenjaku's technique when he killed him, because like we know how his technique works by that. There was no scenario where that didn't happen. So it's not like he could have skipped over it. He had to provide some sort of explanation for it. It's like I don't know. Like I hear you, and like I kind of get why you think this way. I just don't think it makes sense. Okay, I'm sorry.
And like I said, I want to get back to what you were saying about just because it makes sense doesn't mean it's good. This is what I was talking about in the beginning. I'm starting to think it's just you kind of don't like it. That's what I'm getting. It's like kind of like you're not liking it because, like I said, I get what you're saying, but what Deadly said also, it just kind of doesn't make sense. That doesn't go against the narrative, and then the other thing earlier about the whole humble thing, I don't know, but go. I don't know, but
okay.
Yeah.
I'll concede to the Yuta argument now to get back to the original point, because my original point wasn't even about the whole if Yuta thing makes sense. My whole issue with the whole thing in general is the retrospective flashbacks, and as why I think that is what really ruined this series for me, and how his constant use of them, especially in Shujuku, actually just in Shujuku Showdown, that's really where it becomes the issue. How him making decisions, being good or bad, most of them being bad, and then trying to justify them by giving us a flashback about what happened beforehand and being like, oh, see, this was their plan the whole time. That's why it's happening. That's my reason for justifying why this is happening, whether it's good or not, compared to how he used to do them with the Megumi flashback. that is where my original argument lies. Do y'all have anything to say that?
I have a sentence for you. You're not
Uh-huh.
gonna like it,
Oh brother. Oh
but
brother.
what's happening is you just don't like the writing.
That's not going to apply to the just because it doesn't make sense. That's not the same thing I'm talking about. I'm saying that this is what I'm saying. I don't like that he does this, and I think he uses that as a reason to justify a lot of his things. Actually, no, it does. That is what I'm saying. I don't think. Go on, what you're saying before I yap again. Go on. I'll let you get it out before I yap again because I was about to go on another rant.
I was gonna say because Shinjuku Showdown is like specifically written around this style of writing. It's fine to dislike that, for the record. I don't want to say like you're wrong for disliking it, but like I don't think it's right to say it was like a mistake in his writing or something like he's trying to cover his tracks with. The whole point of Shinjuku Showdown is that during the month time skip, they formulate this entire plan from nearly start to finish based on what they have available to them. And they have contingencies for everything because they're fighting the strongest sorcerer on the planet. There's like, if they go at this head on, they are all going to die no matter what. So they formulate this plan. And because of obviously storytelling purposes and like in universe, Yuji being connected with Sukuna,
they never revealed it to us. And see, that's another thing. I don't want it to seem like I'm saying, oh, I wanted to know everything that was going to happen or like what their plans were before going into it. I just think that some of the decisions seemed so out of like left field, and I was complaining about this when we were reading it and talking about it weekly, is that like the gauntlet Sukuna ran, it was every single week where someone jumps in to fight Sukuna, they get one shot. No, someone comes in to fight Sukuna, they get their ass beat, they pull out their last ditch effort, they get one shot, then the chapter ends with the next person coming in, and it will rinse and repeat until Yuta came back with Gojo's body. So it got very repetitive and boring, quite frankly. And then where was I going with this? What was the first thing I said? I don't remember. But wait, actually I forgot what else. I actually lost my train of thought.
You were basically just talking about how everyone like
ran a gauntlet against Sukuna and it just got repetitive.
Yeah, they were running the gauntlet against Sukuna, it got repetitive. I forgot what I was gonna say. Continue. I actually did forgot.
Okay. Look, we need to have a conversation about the
You're cutting out. I cannot
person
hear you.
of the week thing, okay?
Oh my God. What conversation do you need to have about this? That's literally what happened.
It didn't happen that often.
Yes, it did. Deadly. Yes, it did.
Look, listen. I will go through the chat. I will go through the.
We can go through every chapter. It would every single week or every 2 weeks. It would be someone comes in, they fight for it. They fight, and if they were lucky, they fought for 2 chapters. They would use their big technique, or they would use whatever plan that they had, and then every single plan would fail. It just it just was not entertaining to read. Go on.
Okay. Let me go through the chapters. Okay.
Go ahead.
So it happens. Okay.
Happens with Higurama. Happens with Maki.
Let me rephrase one.
Go ahead.
I don't think this is as like impactful or like detrimental to the story as like people make it out to be. Okay. Because ignoring like the in-universe reasons, just focusing on writing purposes, I think there's 2 chapters where this like actually gets kind of annoying, and it's Kusakabe versus Sukuna, and it's Miguel and fucking Lariue. The
that
other
was
random
ridiculous. I have to fight Sukuna? Like, yeah, bro. Like, yeah, you do, bro. Oh my
So,
god.
and to defend these two, okay, you know, Miguel and Laraway was kind of like
Miguel was the biggest offense. I'm like, nigga, we have
like,
not
yeah,
seen you
that one,
at all since the one shot, and now you want to show up? Like, come on. And then,
yeah,
and then,
that
again,
one,
no,
I
no,
will not do.
and then that's also the retrospective flashback shit. We have not seen this nigga since the one shot. We have no reason. We have no reason that this nigga even knows what the fuck is going on. He's in a completely different country, and then we get a flashback, and it's like, oh yeah, Gojo and Yuta have been in contact with this nigga the whole time, and it's like nigga, what? Like,
Okay.
go ahead.
I'll give you that. Miguel and Laraway was pretty forced. I will give you that. Okay. What I won't give you is as funny as Kusakabe, like having his own chapter or whatever was. I don't think you can say like, oh, he came out of nowhere just like, and it's like, oh, you know, new fighter of the week. Because one, he was in the fight the whole time.
No, it's not.
Maki did not get like a.
Yeah, it's not that they came out of like little. The only one that came out of little nowhere was Miguel. My issue isn't that they come out of nowhere, because they don't. It's just like the concept of one person goes in and like they're all 1v1. It's not like there was only like one group fight, and it was like Yuji, Shiesty Sorcerer. But until Toto, in between, and then Toto comes in, and then they like start doing group fights. But like for a few weeks at a time, there were like someone goes in, they fight them for a few chapters, they lose, next person comes in, next person comes in. Like that is what happened.
Okay, look, that's Maki. The only two people that kind of 1v1 Sukuna, Maki, and funnily enough, Kusakabe.
Yeah.
And even in the Maki section, Kusakabe and fucking Shiesty Sorcerer still jump that nigga. Miguel jumps the fuck out of Sukuna with Yuji, Maki, Laraway, everybody else. Who? Yuta, obviously, Yuta versus Yuji. Who jumps in after? Actually, no, because after that is when the Yuji chapter happens. But like the only there are two chapters during the entire arc where it's not a group fight, and that's the beginning of Maki versus Sukuna and Kusakabe versus Sukuna. Other than that, it's still a group fight the entire time. Like, well, and obviously fucking the end with Yuji versus Sukuna. But I don't think you can say like it's just all that really happened was that every character got their spotlight. That's all that really happened.
Yeah, and I feel like it's not ridiculous to say that there would be a new character that would enter the fray and then get a spotlight. They would reveal one of their plans. The plan wouldn't work, and he rinsed and repeated that cycle for a few months. I feel like that's not like. I feel like we're not disagreeing.
Like, okay, I'm disagreeing.
Like I feel like we're arguing semantics.
No, listen.
It's like,
okay, I'm disagreeing with the idea that it's a cycle and he like just kept doing the same thing, because he didn't do that with Maki. He didn't do that with
okay, wait, he didn't do what?
He didn't like introduce the character, flashback, like
I'm not even okay. I think we're like misinterpreting what we're saying. Not the flashback thing didn't happen every chapter, but like what would happen every few weeks or so, or even every week somehow, is that someone or a group will be fighting Sukuna, right?
Mm-hmm.
Someone else would enter the fray, fight him. They would either fight for a few chapters. I'm not saying every chapter was a flashback, but they would fight, or they would fight for a chapter or for a few chapters. If they fought for a chapter, they would like try to use their technique. Their technique would get shut down by Sukuna. It was really dude, he was just like, it was just a Sukuna like showing off how strong he really wasn't, all that shit. And then like after a few chapters, one of their big plans would come in, and then it would fail. It's not like I'm not saying it was like an every week thing, but there was like a gauntlet Sukuna was running for a few weeks where it's like he's fighting a few people, someone else jump in, he beats that person ass, goes back to like fighting Yuji or something. Like that is what would happen a lot. Like I feel like
and Okay, the reason I'm hesitant is because do you feel like it felt like when you were reading it felt like it was just Sukuna like showing shit off and like nothing else was really happening? It was that kind of.
Do I feel like Sukuna was like what, like showing off his power, or like what do you mean by that?
Yeah, like it was just like you bring new character in, Sukuna fucking like destroys them, so you see how powerful he is, and then like
I
kind
don't necessarily think that's what he was trying to do. No, I
Yeah,
don't.
because
I
that's
don't think.
basically just monster of the week kind of stuff.
because like I'm trying to figure out like really what your issue is with this, because
My
terms,
issue with it is that it just got boring seeing someone else jump in and then seeing their plan fail eventually, because like that was just happening every week, and I'm like, okay, there's a new character here,
Yeah,
but
but
I
my
know
point was,
you're not going to do anything because I saw you do this with 3 other characters, and I
but
know
my
you're
point
not going to
is,
be the one to do it because Yuji has to do it because he's the main character type shit. So it felt like it felt like it was just a slog until I get to, okay, when is Yuji going to get his time to shine? That's what it felt like every week. And I think we had this conversation when we were reading it
You
weekly.
can say that about like a
Yeah.
lot of final fights.
okay,
I
but
can't say
like
that about a lot
my
of Final
issue,
Fights.
my main issue is that like
Madara.
that wasn't happening. Like every chapter,
That's not what happened in Madara. There was so many other fights
every
going on.
chapter, whoever like one, the characters aren't getting like introduced. You just the POV switches to them for whatever reason, but they're there the entire like Kusakabe. You see him in the Maki fight fighting
Yeah.
Miguel. Like I said, Miguel and Laru. Yes, but there's nothing to say about that. Like the and it really only happens with Maki, Miguel, and Maki and Miguel. They're the only ones that actually like are introduced to their fight. Everyone else is there from the get go. So I'm
Well,
just
no,
like, I don't.
Yuta wasn't there because Yuta was with Kenjaku. He handled Kenjaku.
Can we be honest?
What
The
do
fight
you
started.
mean?
The fight started with like Yuta when Yuta showed up. Can we be honest? Are we
No,
talking hero?
nigga, it started with Gojo fought. What do you mean?
Not
Wait.
I'm
Are
talking
we
about, like,
talking about
okay.
the gauntlet? No, it started when Yuta,
It's
not Yuta,
no,
Yuji and
like
Higuruma.
not literally, but like the
Wait,
real fight began when Yuta showed up, because Higuruma had this one out. That was less of a fight and more of Higuruma's conclusion. Okay, like
I don't think I could give you that.
I
They
think
were fighting that nigga the whole time.
I no, I gotta give no. Like, if you want to like be
I don't
like
I don't
that, then I don't think so.
okay, whatever. I
Yeah.
don't personally like
Like-
see that like as a part of the whole raid because of how
No,
it was
the
handled,
raid
but
started
that's
when
just me thinking,
Gojo.
that's just me thinking.
Like the whole thing started like technically it started with Gojo, but no, as soon as Gojo died, they started boxing. So I can't say
Yeah, like I know whatever. It's a me thing. It's a me thing. Whatever.
all right.
But look, my point is,
Like, okay, like
I don't
here's how Kashimo shows up,
Mhm.
literally one chapter, one shot.
Blows up.
Next people come in.
Kashimo's
Yuji, Kashimo dead. I mean Gojo packed. Kashimo packed. Cool. Next chapter, Higurama, Shiesty Sorcerer, Kusakabe, I think, and Yuji. Boom. The boxing for a few chapters. Higurama puts his plan into motion. Plan fails. Cool. I think it was Maki after that, right?
after that's when Yuta shows up.
Wait, Yuta shows up before Maki has his fight? Has her fight? I thought.
Yeah,
I thought-
I'm watching it right now. Yuta
Yeah,
and Yuji
'cause
are fighting, and
Higuruma-
then he stabs him in the back.
Wait,
Higuruma
really?
gets knocked out, and that's when
I'm reading it right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maki's
And
after.
Kusakabe's
Wait,
like-
so Maki versus Sukuna is after Yuta and Yuji? That can't
Yes,
be true.
correct.
What? Really?
It is. It's
It is.
251, and then that's when she stabs him in the back after Yuta's fighting him. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's how it went. I remember. Okay, yeah. Because that's when they take Higurama's body back. Okay, yeah. I remember. So yeah, Shiesty Sorcerer, Yuji, Higurama. Higurama tries to put his plan in motion, fails. Boom. Yuta comes back. Yuta, Yuji, they fight Sukuna for like a few chapters. They're like, "How'd you get this strong?" Their whole that plan was I was about to say Jabberwock Island. What the fuck is it called? The light, the shit that Angel was doing. What's the shit called?
Jacob's Ladder.
Jacob's Ladder.
Yeah.
Yes, their plan was Jacob's Ladder on Sukuna. Well, no, at first they just tried to outbox a nigga. Doesn't work, but whatever. We didn't expect it to. Boom. Jacob's Ladder was the big plan. Boom. Fails. They're like, okay, that failed. Maki, enter. Boom. Maki sneaks the nigga. I don't remember what her sword does. Doesn't it like cut off his curse energy or some shit? I don't remember what the sword does.
It cuts the soul.
It
So
Yeah.
attacks the soul.
Yeah,
So
boom.
basically, it can affect people like Mahito.
Yeah, boom. Maki enters, boxing with Sukuna, tries to cut his soul from Megami, whatever that fuck was gonna do. Doesn't work. Boom. Okay, so then who's after? Oh, Kusakabe's after Maki then. Maki gets packed. Whatever, gets hit with a black flash. Boom, Maki's out. Kusakabe, come in. I have to fight this nigga? Yeah, bro, you do. He does some simple domain bullshit. I don't know. He's bullshitting his way through the fight. Boom, gets packed. And then is that when
that's
Yuta and
when
Yuji?
Miguel shows up.
Oh, Miguel. And then boom,
again,
Miguel here. It's like, nigga, what the fuck are you doing here? And it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do my nigga dance on him.
That
type
nigga
shit.
did hit the 100% dodge build, bro. Like
Yeah.
that nigga was just not
He's
trying
like,
to get
all
hit,
right, boom. You Miguel's here for some reason, gets packed. And then is that when Toto
no,
shows?
he just
all right, he doesn't get packed, but he runs over, he stops fighting. He's like, yeah, bro, I can't do this. I did what I could. And then is that where Toto comes in?
You just skip like a whole like.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. What happens after Miguel? Because that's when I thought I thought Yuta
Miguel
came after that.
Okay, because after Miguel dodges like one hit and punches the nigga, and then they go back to jumping him in the same chapter.
Yeah, it's like, Choso, it's Yuji.
Choso and Yuji
oh, Choso, that's the bum ass nigga. I forgot.
Bomb.
Choso's a bum.
Choso's
a bum. Choso's a bum.
It's just a bunch of stronger niggas, man. That nigga's actually OP, but
Choso's a bum. Choso comes in.
It's like it's everyone versus Sukuna for like 2 chapters, and then Yuji lands a black flash, and then it's Yuji and fucking Ino versus Sukuna.
Ino? Who the fuck is Ino?
So Shiesty Sorcerer.
Oh, Shiesty Sorcerer, my goat. Shiesty Sorcerer.
Didn't even know his name.
That's the goat still. Shiesty Sorcerer comes in, boom. Whatever happens, happens. And then I think this is when Todo shows up. They have the thing, boom. I think all this isn't that bad. I think it's just that stretch of after Yuta. I think where my main issue comes from is that stretch after Maki versus Sukuna, or no, after Yuta and Yuji. Because I thought Yuta and Yuji was after. I thought Yuta showed up after like Mega. I thought he was like the last one before Todo and Choso.
A little bit after he.
So I think that stretch of like Maki, Kusakabe, what's the nigga's name? Miguel, and then like some of that bullshit afterwards. I think that's where it's like it got a little bit boring because I'm like, okay, here's three new characters. Y'all all try something different. None of it really works. Can we get back to the main fight? You know what I'm saying? I think that's where my issue comes in with it.
I just don't understand that, bro. Like, because like one, let me see real quick, because it's 2 chapters of Maki and everyone, then 1 Kusakabe chapter, and like half a Miguel chapter,
and then Yuji and Choso come after. There.
Yeah, so like I think in a manga format, like it's not that long, but also like, we were reading this weekly, so we were reading like weeks.
I said this back when the chapters come out. Reading this being in a weekly format, I understand that, but I don't think this is something like
after it's done when you can binge it now.
Like,
I'm gonna go back and binge it and see.
That's like narratively bad because it's not that long of a time whatsoever. And
that's like
not only that, it's not like. The other thing I disagree with what you said is it's not like they weren't like completing progress with Sukuna. Like
everyone was like knocking, like Yuta ripped out the tongue. Maki cut off some of the arms, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Maki stabbed his heart and cut.
Yeah, his heart.
Yuta and Yuji fucking grabbed his tongue or whatever, pulled that shit out. Oh, and also there was like the main damage was on Sukuna at the time. Well, that's why Maki didn't get fucking one shot, you know. Like I think Kusakabe is the only one who didn't really do anything, and that was one singular chapter. So I don't know. Like I said, reading it week to week, I do think it was ass, but I don't think it's something you can say is a.
Because even then, in a span of like, if I'm looking at this right, considering all the breaks, it's just mainly like 3 months.
Yeah,
in real
and
time.
that's the other thing too. There were a shit ton of breaks during this time, so like
yeah, so I will get like the
This-
wait for it
this
also
concept is
didn't
just-
justify what was happening, which I could also get it. Like I said, like no one likes bullshit cliffhangers and shit like that. But really and realistically, in terms of speaking, it was only like 2 to 3 months of real time with just this fight. And even then it would just be like a chapter or two, not too derivative of our time, but like at least that I don't see that much of an issue with it. But and
Yeah,
everyone, it's
but
not like everyone didn't do shit. It would be different if someone just like, oh, I fought Sukuna, I didn't do anything. I didn't like they were all whittling him down, which was the point.
but then that's also another thing because did they really? But that's not.
yes, they did.
He's missing 2 arms, ripped the tongue out.
Yeah,
hit
but
him with multiple black flashes.
but it didn't really. It didn't really.
It
and
did.
It didn't.
It did.
Like the whole.
No, it didn't. But it's all right. I can get to that.
I just think you're just being a nigga now.
No,
I
I'm
don't know,
not.
bro.
I'm not because we'll get to that in a second. But this, we again moved away from my original point. I just don't think I like the concept of using a flashback after an event already happened to try to justify the reason why it's happening. I feel like there should at least be, for some of these concepts, tidbits, or again, we just should have seen that time skip, but y'all already agreed to me on that.
Like I said, we agree.
Yeah, we should
Don't
have
agree with
seen that.
everything else you said tonight, but
There should have. I think there needs to be something before you just give it to me. It's like imagine going on a roller coaster, right? You're on a roller coaster, but you know how there's a roller coaster, there's the build up and then there's the drop, right?
Mhm.
With Gege, it feels like you get the drop and then you get the build up. I'm like, bro, this is reverse edging. You know what I'm saying? Like this is reverse edging. Like, what are you doing to me?
I don't know, man. I don't.
Bro, I feel like
don't know
that makes
if I agree
sense.
with that.
Because like you get the big reveal and then you get like the build up to the reveal. Like after, it's weird. It's hurting my head now.
Look, I agree that there should have been some shit with Juku Showdown, but I don't think like the style of writing where you have like something happens and then he reveals something of the plan that with the style or with the kind of fight Sukuna versus everyone is that can't be changed. I think there should have been more. I agree with you with the roller coaster analogy, but like you can't really change that. It's just
How it is.
it's just how it is.
And
I like
and you know what else? Nobara suffers from this. It's like, I feel like multiple characters suffer from this. I feel like the examples I use might have not been the best. If I think of different examples, I'm gonna reread some of it and come back to y'all if I think of better examples. But I feel like what I'm saying makes sense. I just didn't have the right examples of it. All right, but we can get back to that.
Like-
I have 2 other things. Okay, this one, it's not even really why JJK sucks. It just didn't make sense to me, even when it happened. So the ending, we all know the ending. Yuji saves random bum nigga, right? And like he like, and we get, another retrospective flashback of what Gojo was telling him about like what's the shit he said? He's like,
oh, they had enough of Satoru Gojo.
no, not that. What's the shit Yuji actually said to the guy? What did he say?
He just said
I'm expecting great things or whatever.
I'm expecting great things for you. Yeah.
Okay, that never made sense to me. And maybe y'all could explain this one. You could like maybe explain to me. So, from my understanding, Gojo said that to Yuji because, like, he was saying, "Oh, I'm expecting you to like become a better sorcerer than me." Yada yada yada. The whole thing. It's like, oh, I want you to be better than me. So, like, oh, I'm expecting great things, right? So that makes sense in the context of their relationship in that conversation. It's a teacher talking to a student, right? But I don't understand why Yuji repeated that to the random guy. Like, you don't know this nigga. So like, why? Like, I like, and I get he was trying to like have a moment, but like, I don't get why Yuji's saying that to like that guy, because it's like, what are you expecting from him? Like, you don't know this person.
You know how you said it earlier.
You're
like
cutting out. I can't hear you.
Gege. You know how you said earlier, JJK fuck JJK
This
fans like to pretend Gege is like more deep
uh-huh.
than like you're inadvertently you're doing the same thing right now. Like
What you mean?
You're looking too
all it
deep
was,
into it.
How am I
yeah,
looking
it
too
was just
how am I looking too deep into it? Like okay,
Yuji, it
but
was Gojo was telling Yuji, I'm expecting great things from you. Yuji just, you know, he took from inspiration from Gojo as his teacher and in front of this guy who he wants
He
to do
just
better.
basically what Deadly's saying. He
And
just
yeah,
regurgitated the same
okay, but
concepts.
okay,
yeah,
yeah,
he's
but no,
inviting the
no.
dude to come join like with them. He's saying, I'm expecting you to do better. I'm expecting great things from you. You can go up from here. That's what he's saying.
But I feel like we wouldn't have got. See, that doesn't make sense to me because like we get the flashback and it's a very specific thing that Gojo's talking about. So like that's the point of reference Gege is giving us as to why Yuji's about to say this. And then we get the line of Yuji saying it. So it makes sense in that context, right? But if Yuji's just telling this guy, hey, bro, you could do better, bro. You're going to be on the up and up. I don't know. I assumed he didn't invite. He invited him to Jujutsu High or whatever, right? Like that did happen. I didn't imagine that.
Mhm.
So it's like, I feel like you could be like, hey, bro, you're going to do better. But I feel like Gege showing us that flashback was trying to put a point of reference in our head as for why Yuji's saying this, right? Like I feel like that's the reason why you would do that.
Okay, no, I get what you're saying.
So like Yuji saying that to him doesn't make sense. Like I'm not sure.
Okay, the reason
like if it was like Yuji was his student, if Yuji was his teacher, like that would make sense. But like he's just a random nigga to him.
Because okay, look. Okay, I'm gonna go a little deeper with it.
Right.
Because Yuji, well, we didn't know this at the time because it wasn't out, but like Yuji is in a way the new like reference point for the strongest.
For the strong, yeah, I've heard about that.
In that flashback is that he wants the like Yuji's strength and everyone else's strength to be a different kind from the one Gojo had. So Yuji's reflecting that by instead of just saying like, let's take what Gojo did for Yuji for like Gojo forcefully stepped in, used his position as the strongest to like brute force everything, save Yuji, you know, from that pillar he stood upon. Instead of that, Yuji is saying like, "Hey, bro, hey man, it's not over for you. You can do better." He's trying to inspire him, like in the same way Gojo is trying to build up strength. Instead of just one person, he's trying to like uplift the next generation. Yuji's trying to uplift the people around him and inspire that strength, like Gojo was trying to do with him and all of the rest of Jujutsu High. So that's why that's there, and that's why Yuji's saying, "I'm expecting great things from you," because like he wants to uplift him. He wants to uplift the people around him. He wants to create kind of strength that's not just reliant on one person.
He just sees himself in that. He sees himself in that kid, and he wanted to like
That's
just
it.
make him better. Like it
really is that simple. I feel like there was a better way he could have gone about that. But you know, I wasn't even trying to say that scene was shit. I actually wanted that I actually wanted that scene explained to me because like when I was rereading it, like it actually did not make. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. I mean, he could have gone about that a better way. The last thing I have in this, right, and then I'm gonna come back with more points as to why JJK sucks. It's about the binding vows. But do I really want to talk about this?
Do we need to talk about binding vows again? Do you really want to talk about binding vows again?
Please, God, no. Anything but
like
the binding vows. How long have we been going?
Read it. I'm gonna give my like
2 hours and 30 minutes.
I don't even want to give my 2 cents anymore, bro.
I'm gonna give my 2 cents and
wait.
I want to talk about it.
I think I'm done about binding vows, man.
just read it.
Binding vows Binding vows became a tool used as a cheap and quick explanation to allow things to happen to cheapen the effect required to execute a goal, plan, or action. And since Sukuna is so good at jujutsu, let me read something from the beginning. Binding vows became a tool used as a cheap and quick explanation to allow something else to happen to cheapen the effect required to execute a goal, plan, or action. And since Sukuna is so good at jujutsu sorcery, the disadvantages that come with binding vows didn't affect them nearly as much as the advantages of them. And what I meant by this was how he was spamming binding vows so much throughout the thing. And I remember when I originally brought this up when we were reading the series weekly, Deadly's argument was, oh, he's able to do that because he's so good at jujutsu sorcery. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense, but I think that nigga's cheating. And I had a Marvel Rivals analogy, but I forgot it. It's like triple support, bro. It makes no sense.
Okay.
I forgot my analogy. But it's like seeing him constantly pop out a binding vow, and I'm like, this is just another thing of like, I just didn't like it. I think him popping out binding vows consistently and him having
a plot
little
device.
to no
Plot device.
drawbacks for some of them was just like stupid. I think it was just a way to keep Sukuna in the
Prolong
fight.
the fight.
To prolong, yeah, whatever the fuck. Go ahead. Give me your quick rundown.
Okay. Funnily enough, I fucking hate myself. So I've been arguing with niggas on Reddit about JJK,
Yo, you're bored.
And I had a similar argument, right? I think the issue comes from like less of how the strong characters use binding vows, and more so there's not like a fucking idiot in JJK, right? We don't see
What do you mean by that?
we don't see what the effects of misusing a binding vow are because no one's stupid enough to misuse them, other than Miwa. Miwa's like the one fucking.
I'm about to say, we feel like we did have that with Miwa.
Miwa is the only one in the series that actually fucked up a binding vow.
Yeah, but like everyone, they make it a point early in the series that like you do not fuck with binding vows unless you know what's going to happen with them.
Yeah.
So, but because of that very thing, we don't see it fucking up a lot. Like, for example, of what could have happened per se, like Nanami has a binding vow where he's not fighting at full strength for majority of the time, but after a certain point, he gets stronger than what he otherwise would have because he was holding back that strength. If we saw a point where like Nanami got caught because like before he overtime, that would have been a good example of a binding vow fucking someone over. Like, or if we got, I don't know, if like Yuji was in a desperate situation, needed to use one that fucked them over, that would have been an example. But because we don't see examples of what binding vows can do if they fuck up, it makes it feel cheap when the stronger characters abuse them because it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like a feat or like
like there's no stakes involved like that.
Yeah, it just felt like I could just
like
pop this whatever.
I'm like, they were like, oh, I did a binding vow. I'm
that's what that nigga was doing.
There was no
I remember one
repercussions.
meme where it's like, oh, Sukuna popped
then,
a binding vow where he can't hate on Yuji for 3 minutes, and then he's able to use good old curse technique back. That's how it felt. That's legit how it felt. Like, I'm like, this nigga just making up rules now. Like, he's cheating. He's literally cheating.
Like, it goes back with one of my bigger issues with JJK is that there's not the things that happen later in the series do make sense, but there's not enough basis earlier to make them feel right.
Exactly.
Like, that is what I'll say about that. It goes back to your point about like even if it makes sense, that doesn't mean it's well written. So I'll give you that. I wouldn't say they're plot devices, but I would say they're underdeveloped to the point. It is
because I do remember we did have a discussion about binding vows that Gojo and just
it was pissing me off.
They're just that fucking good at sorcery and shit.
It wasn't even Gojo. My original argument was that like, bro, if binding vows are this OP, why does everyone do them? And then he was like, the only reason
not
why
everyone can fulfill the conditions.
Yeah, not everyone could do it. I'm like, only Sukuna can. I'm like, okay, makes sense. But I think him being so good at jujutsu sorcery, this nigga is just a cheater, bro. By using binding vows, like
he's just a nigga who smurfed into the next generation.
No, that's how it feels like. That nigga smurfing. That nigga is one above all playing smurfing in plat lobbies. That's how it feels.
That literally is what Sukuna is doing.
That nigga's cheating.
That's Sukuna, and that's all of the calling game members. They all smurf from their different eras, and it came to the modern era and just beat all the niggas. They're lucky they had Gojo, who's like the one above all nigga, and then you had the nigga that's just been cheating all his life.
Yeah, it just got annoying to see how like every time Sukuna seemed to be at a disadvantage, it was like, oh nope, he popped the binding vow and he can use his domain now, but he loses all his curse. No. There was one time where I think the situation that remember whatever binding vow he used to get furnace or whatever the fuck. I think that's the one that set me over the edge. Cause like I think that's when Yuji legit had him in a corner or something. But then it was like, oh nope, die, nigga. What the fuck? fuck? Nigga, you're cheating. That's cheating. That's cheating. Oh, yeah.
Okay. And look, okay, this might be controversial, but I also the world cutting slash binding vow at the beginning of the fight was a good example because
What
him
the one
being
on
forced-
the one on Gojo or the one on Kashimo?
the one on Gojo.
I don't even remember what the condition was for it.
Basically,
It was some
he
nonsense.
made it so that that very instant he could use world cutting slash instantly, just the one, and after that it would need more hand signs and speed.
Oh yeah, that's. I don't really have that much of an issue with that.
Yeah, like that one's a good one because like one, it shows he was pushed to desperation, and two, him doing that is pretty much part of why he lost the fight against everybody else, because he could never pull it off more than like twice because of everything he had to do to prepare it.
And then
So,
he lost his tongue and then his arms, and he just couldn't do it anymore because he lost the chance and everything else to do it. So that binding vow is what fucked him up. Because imagine if he used that against the rest of the cast, then no one's fucking surviving. But
yeah.
So that, I mean, you could also say that's an instance where a binding vow did fuck someone over, but like,
Yeah,
like,
this is. Well, I agree. I get what you're trying to say. I won't call out devices, but I do. They're underdeveloped
because they're more like
they don't feel like earned a lot of the time.
It's because they're just more like watered down. Really, that's kind of how I see them. But like, I do see what you mean, though. They just don't have enough foundation on them, and we don't see much consequences when someone uses them. We just see people saying like, "Oh, don't do that, or else you will get fucked over," instead of seeing like what actually happens besides that one outlier, which is Miwa, who lost her fucking ability to hold a sword. So I mean, but I don't know. This is, yeah. But is that the last one?
Yeah. Thank
Okay.
you for watching. What, you have something else to say?
Shit, I do. How much are you paying me since you forced me to talk about JJK for 3 hours?
I respect you to read the series again, man. I just want you to read the series again.
Fuck no. That shit sucks.
I just think some of the things you were saying, I think you just might dislike. I just think you just dislike certain things, man.
You know what?
do.
Just because of this, we are
Nothing wrong with
having
that.
next week. We are having a redo of Nova Naruto retrospective, just because we did this.
You want to do a Naruto retrospective?
Yes, bro.
I mean,
I'm
no,
not gonna lie,
including Boruto too.
I like talking about Naruto, so I don't care.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, bro. My hate for Naruto is diminished, bro.
Because he knows he was wrong about everything.
No, I just don't care about the series anymore, bro. You know, this poster? Fuck that poster.
Yeah, he wouldn't actually do it. Yeah, he wouldn't actually do it though, because he knows that's his goat.
My mom gave it to me, so I'm
bro.
do
And
like,
Nova, I would love to talk about Naruto again, especially because I just rewatched it, so now everything's fresh on my mind. So now I can really point out how stupid Nova is. Like, let's do it. Let's do it.
Time skill still ass, but hey,
yeah,
man,
if you're stupid, time skips ass, but it's all right.
All right, we can.
I feel like
fuck it.
And I feel like what my complaints was, like, let me think. I think the characters one is valid. The Maki and Mai plot device one, fair. The 236 one, fair. What else? I think the only
you just gotta let niggas have it, man.
Okay, no, like my whole thing with 236 was not that.
Stop.
No. Shut up. I'm trying to remember what y'all said. Shut up. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to go back in the thing. I remember Nova talking about something like, oh no. That's where, because the 236 led into my retrospective explanations thing, and I think wait. Everything that the whole thing about you were saying, Dudley, about Gojo being wanting someone strong or whatever the fuck, none of that came before his fight with Sukuna. That all came after. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, I think him actively using flashbacks to explain stuff that either happened in the past or it's happening at the current time diminishes some things. Like, I would like Like, I would like that shit a lot more if I had even an idea of Gojo's like true mindset rather than a facade that he's showing.
Okay, no, but listen, that's the point I was trying to make. That arrogance and shit of him thinking he was going to beat Sukuna was his true mindset. My whole point was that for both him and Sukuna, their mindsets had no reason to change until they fought each other, because before then they were right. They were the strongest. There was nothing that proved them wrong. Sukuna and Gojo proved each other wrong by showing there was someone that could stand on that level. That was my whole point.
Yeah, but wasn't there? But he also had the conversation during the time skip before his actual fight with him, where he's like, "Oh yeah, Sukuna's so strong," and da da da. Like they showed multiple flashbacks of before his actual fight, like that 2 week or whatever, how long before the actual fight. That was all those conversations came within that period. So if we saw if we saw all that before the actual fight, or at least got an idea of it, the actual reveal of him being like, I lost, someone stronger than me, would have been more digestible if we had at least an idea.
But he's never.
What idea did you want? Because that revelation didn't that change in Gojo didn't happen until after he died. That was something, that revelation for him happened in the afterlife. Like that's what I'm trying to say. Like, Sukuna beating him was the change to his mindset. That was what
how you gotta change your mindset when you dead, nigga? You dead.
Yeah, because he died. He lost.
I know. I was making a joke.
I was about to say, because he won the fight. If you won the fight, then he doesn't need to change. He'd be like, well, I'm the strongest then. Like, Sukuna wasn't shit. It's the same thing why Sukuna talked shit with Gojo. He was like, well, I'm the strongest. You're just a fish with no scales and shit. Like I said, until they fought each other and until one nigga beat the other nigga, then they're going to hold that mindset. Like, it's just like, I don't know. I just find that funny.
But it's not even that.
That's the same reason Sukuna also does a 180 after he and he's like, you know what? There were other paths I could have gone down. I didn't. I chose to do this. I can choose to do something else. Like, he changes because he loses. He was standing on that pillar alone, and then like Gojo and Yusuf High showed him
in defeat or in death. That's when you change your mindset. That's just how it is. Because that, I just don't understand what you wanted, more digestible. Like, did you want Gojo to say oh, Sukuna was beating my fucking ass. I'm sorry that I failed you. What more could you have possibly wanted from that? That's what I don't get. Did you want him sprinkle thoughts in? Sukuna might be way stronger than I thought he was.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm saying. I wanted those conversations that we saw Gojo have with Yuji, and times in between that times. I'm not saying he had to come to the full revelation, but I think if we got more inner monologue, what nigga, what?
Nah, I'd win.
No, I'm not saying. I know you're not listening.
See those? It would have been Gojo saying, "Yeah, I'm stronger than that nigga," over again. We see him talking.
Nah, I'd win.
No, Deadly, I'm not talking about him. I'm not saying he said, "Oh, I might lose this." I'm talking about his conversation. I'm talking about the shit that we were talking about before, right? About the time skip. About the time skip where Gojo was telling Yuji about the flashback in the last chapter. His last flashback that we saw with Yuji about how his thoughts on being this pillar, being at the top. Those conversations, not the ones where it's oh yeah, I'm gonna beat Sukuna's ass. I'm talking about that. His philosophy about being the strongest. I'm saying I wanted to see more of that before going into his actual fight with Sukuna. That's what I'm saying.
So okay, so then what is that? That's a criticism of that's a criticism of Gojo's character. That's more of a criticism of the last chapter than this 236. What is your issue with 236 then?
My issue 236 is that he died and he should have fucking won because Gojo Sukuna's a bitch.
See, I knew it.
I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I lost my point. I don't even remember how we got here. I'm gonna be honest.
I agree. I agree.
Because like I said, bro, because if we have to talk about why Sukuna, because if we have to talk about how Sukuna beat Gojo again one more time, then
all right. Okay, so going over it again, I feel like my thing about the characters, fair. plot device, characters use plot device, fair. The 236, sure, whatever, right? Even don't know.
Worst chapter I've ever seen in my life.
Facts.
Kill yourself.
And I
You're
think
gonna die.
the retrospective explanations things I'm also correct about. I just didn't have the examples with me. But if I could explain it properly, I think you guys will understand what I'm saying. Kelko, how about you say something, Kelko? You haven't said a fucking word.
I was gonna say this after the. What the fuck has Kelko done today? Let's talk about it. What do you?
Kelko, if we ever start making money off this shit, you are never seeing $1, nigga. And not a single dollar.
That's what I'm saying. Kelko does not belong in this shit, bro. He be the main one wanting to do this shit. He be the main one trying to get niggas in here. You get in. If we get in here, by the way, he don't do shit. He don't read shit. He don't talk about shit.
Bro's just here for the vibe.
Kelko, what are your thoughts on the hour and a half discussion that we just had, Kelko? What are your thoughts, Kelko? Let's hear it. No, now we're talking about JJK for another hour. Come on. Come on, ugly boy. What are your thoughts? Let's hear it.
Don't know.
You don't know. Did you just say I don't know? Yo, chat, we're opening up applications. If you want to be the 4th member of the Hidden Podcast, apply now. Kelko, what are your thoughts? Kelko, what are your thoughts on my take? The characters are interesting as individuals and not a collective, and most of them are only used as plot device instead of real characters. What are your thoughts?
Actually, I was agreeing. No, because I was here for that part. Well, I was here for all.
What do you mean you were here? You were gone?
You were doing during that.
Oh my god!
I thought he asked what you thought of it, big bro.
Yeah, JJK sucks.
I mean, for the most part, JJK
Gojo shouldn't have died. My name's Coco. Fucking bot.
What? No, what are your thoughts, boy?
I quite literally said I agree. Most JJ characters don't actually feel like characters. They're just
all right. He's just repeating what I said. All right, next. What the fuck? What are your thoughts on 236, Kelko?
Worst chapter I've ever seen in my life.
Why?
Gojo shouldn't have died.
Why? Okay, if your complaint with 230, never mind. All right, we're done talking about Jujutsu Kaisen. All right,
yeah, good. Wrap it up.
Wait, no, she's deafened. We're fine. She's deafened. We're fine. All right. Why, Kelko? I won't say if your complaint with 236 is still the fact that Gojo died. I'm not gonna lie. It's time to grow up. I'm not gonna lie. There's bigger issues.
Fine.
So? She's unmuted. All right, never mind. Let's wrap it up, y'all. Thank you for watching episode. No, we can't let Kelko get off that easy. Kelko, explain. Go ahead.
Okay, my entire hatred for JJK, I'm about to say part 6, was it 236? It's just, it felt so abrupt, man.
All right, bot take. I'm not trying to hear.
When you in school and the teacher asks if you got your home, you don't got your home. You start looking.
You put it into the bag and you're like, wait, I got it. I don't have it. It's at home. My dog ate that shit.
Kelko has bot take still. He hasn't actually thought about it. He just wanted to see more cool action.
I want to know why you dislike JJK so much. That's what I want to know.
Me or him?
Bro,
no, I know, nigga. I know why you do. I just listen to you talk about it.
He doesn't have a reason, bro. Kelko saw it.
I want to know why Kelko hates it, because Kelko jumps on when we talk about JJK.
I just hate JJK for killing Gojo. I never said I hate.
You're a bot. He's a bot. He's just a bot. He doesn't have any actual rhyme or reason. It's like when
Isaiah talks about it, or when Undead jump on. I'm just trying to find out why.
I think Isaiah is wrong sometimes, but he at least.
Yeah, at least he's confident enough to sound like a dumbass. What do you talk about?
Shut your bitch ass up. That's number one. I don't count confident in being a dumbass if I have genuine questions and issues with that fuck ass series. Kelko's a bot and it's like, Gojo died.
On 236 leak night, Kelko went in Miyamura's fucking reply and said, "Oh, generating response. 236.
That nigga saw Gojo cut in half.
Should have lived. Sukuna should have lost. I'm Coco. Nigga, you have no thought, bro. You have no soul, nigga. You're a work. You're a robot.
You say you have no soul? What the fuck?
You don't think
So
for yourself, nigga.
let's go deeper, Kelko. What do you think about?
Wait.
Nope. Deadly. I mean, Kelko, what do you think about how I said it? How do you think about the take of
Oh my
Gojo
God.
felt out of character in 236? How do you? What's your take on that?
I mean, personally, I don't really agree because I mean that was Gojo's first ever actual law. So seeing how
Okay,
he
cool. So he's
reacts, I mean,
repeating what Deadly Nova said. All right, you're a bot. You are a bot. Oh my God, you're a bot.
Okay, in his defense, because we already talked about majority of the stuff, his answers aren't going to be satisfactory because he can't really add on. Said because he kind of covered
Bro,
most of the
Kelko,
bases.
do you have
But
an
this is also why
okay,
Wishy
Kelko?
also
Add
talked
on. How
about
about
it
you
with
add
it.
on, Kelko? Add on to something we haven't already said. And there is no way you just listened to us yet the whole time and didn't think of one original thought. Come on.
I mean, I was talking. I mean,
No, you were not. No, you were not.
No, Kelko, I
No, I
swear,
won't.
I,
No, you're not.
I,
No,
Kelko, I've
Kelko,
been
I
waiting.
think
have
you
my
said a
camera on
total
the
of
grid.
10 words. You said a
Kelko,
total of 10 words.
I have my camera on the grid, twin.
Yes, so
I
do
saw
I.
you doing this.
You were playing a game or spacing out. More than likely
And then when
spacing
Isaiah
out.
said something, you were like,
Yeah.
and when Debbie,
You did
and
not
when Debbie,
speak.
and when Debbie said something, you like nigga, you were doing, bro. You were literally spamming emos. I was watching you. I'm literally the dogs, nigga. I was watching you. You can't gaslight me, bro. I was watching you, bro. Like, no, you weren't talking, twin. You weren't talking.
Kelko,
twin.
so out of what add original thought that we did not speak? What are your thoughts?
well, it's kind of hard to add anything
You
original.
know, it doesn't even have to be about what we said. I just give one like criticism of JJK that hasn't been said today. Just something.
Something you don't like.
Oh, I can get my fairy tale take, but go ahead.
I don't care for a lot of, if not any of the women in JJK at all.
Oh,
They're all
so you're
bad.
sexist.
Holy misogyny. Am I right, fellas?
Yeah, I think you just don't like women.
So
I mean, no, he's not wrong. The female.
My name is Kelko, so I just fucking hate women.
Yeah, that was very interesting. But there should be a conversation about niggas want to talk about Naruto's female cast, JJK's female cast. Now,
It's
Gang
literally
is a
just Naruto,
misogynist.
nobody else.
Okay. Well, to be
Here
fair,
goes
well,
Here
Naruto,
goes
you're either
my
a
boy.
ninja or, but like, I don't know.
You're a bot.
It's just, I don't know, bruh.
Okay, Kelko, you don't
Here
care for
goes
women.
my
What else?
boy.
You said give you one.
So you don't have anything else. What are you doing right now, Kelko, on your phone?
Are you playing Dokkan?
Gekishin Squadra, I bet. You're a fucking I'm about to make Power a full-time member and kick Kelko off, bro.
Power!
Yo,
Let's
Kelko,
go.
you are a bot. Yo, kill your. Ooh, I hate him. Kelko, give us another. Come on.
You can okay. Does the trio have an actual name?
No, they don't.
No.
And you better not repeat
Okay,
what I
so-
said.
No, I was gonna say you can get rid of like everybody but I guess Gojo as the sensei, and nothing but the story would really change for the most part.
What do you
in
mean
my
get rid
opinion.
of? Nigga, you get rid of Yuji, the story doesn't happen. What are you talking about?
Wait. You said wait. No, repeat what you just said.
No, I'm talking about like freaking Nobara and the Bomb Man.
If you
Yeah,
get rid of
that's
Nobara
also
and
not
Megumi
true.
and the story doesn't happen.
No, you said the story doesn't
The
change.
story
if you get rid
doesn't
of
change?
Megumi and Nobara.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
that's not true,
I think that
'cause-
applies to Nobara a little bit, but even then, that
Megumi?
bitch had a role for some, unfortunately.
But
like,
if you say you get rid of Megumi, the later nigga, actually, most of the story doesn't fucking happen because the only reason why Sukuna did what he did
Actually, okay, no,
was
I
because he was
apologize.
interested in Megumi.
You
What
should-
are we talking
You know,
about?
Ironically,
I apologize. I meant
Wait,
to say
Cal. Is Fairy Tail top 3 shonen?
Ignore that. Look,
we got.
okay, and I was gonna say, as I was like researching things about JJK to get to this, I found a new appreciation for Megumi, but I've also found another hatred because, like, that shit with like I was talking about with his domain, like that was like a really cool and good moment, and like probably one of my favorite moments in the series now. But now it also makes me even more mad that Megumi learned that lesson and then proceeds to do nothing else. But I digress. That who's this fight against that one bum ass nigga?
He could have.
In
Reggie?
Reggie? I don't know why Deli likes that nigga Reggie so bad, but you need to let it go. That nigga Reggie's a bum. Reggie's a bum,
is
bro.
lame. Megumi in that fight is
That
No,
fight
he's
is really
not.
good. I will, like I said, I will admit it isn't
I'll
only
re-
1v. It was his, well, not only one, but like
That was his first real fight since his
Wait.
domain fight. And
Can we chill on Reggie? That
oh
nigga is
my
like-
god,
bro,
no, he is not.
Yeah,
Reggie is
yeah.
lame.
Reggie is a good antagonist.
Kill,
bro.
kill. I'm
Come
gonna
on.
get your big ass bug eyes out the fucking camera.
Reggie is lame.
Before I betray.
Wait,
Kill.
Reggie is lame.
bro, Reggie is a good
Power and
antagonist.
Deadly
Come on.
are the only Reggie defenders I've ever met, bro. Yo,
Bro, he's a good antagonist.
yeah.
What can we say, bro?
Reggie is a bum.
Okay,
What
look,
are we
look,
calling
look,
good?
look,
Are we
we
get-
can
we
have
can
this
discuss
argument
that
offline.
later
We can
because
have
I
this
don't
argument
know about good.
I think the Reggie fight is great for Megumi. For Megumi, okay. I think he does a lot of cool shit in that fight. I think it's good. I think it's a good fight. Okay. I don't think Reggie's like the best fucking antagonist to ever grace the earth.
But he's win well enough to like.
That nigga, you
Thank
got
God.
You cut out, bro.
Thank God.
Oh, I cut
Okay.
out. Hold on. Okay.
No. Hold
Kelko,
on.
give us some original thought.
Kelko. What do you not like, Kelko?
Oh my God.
What's your reasoning? Give me a reason.
What has he done?
Boring.
He's boring. I mean, fair enough.
Wait, who? Wait, Megumi?
Reggie.
Oh, Reggie.
Ooh,
I mean, like, I guess.
I don't care for Reggie.
Kelko, I'm gonna get a notebook out next week, and then I'm no bullshit. If you don't have more 500 words spoken in this podcast, we're kicking you, bro. Like no bullshit.
That nigga said 500
My
words,
take-
bro.
My take about Fairy Tail was that I think a series, I'm using JJK as an example, right? I think a series like JJK, where it's a lot deeper than a series like Fairy Tail, gets more praise because it's deep, and then we shit on something like Fairy Tail because it's not deep or whatever. But I think some series trying to be deep or is deep can cause a lot more
It's corny.
What do you?
can cause a lot more discourse than something that's
Simplistic?
not. And this also applies to like Dragon Ball, how people were like, man, Dragon Ball lame because like it's so simple. It's like, oh, just beat the bad guy type shit. So what I'm trying to say is like, just because it's deep don't mean it's like, you feel me? Like Fairy Tail's
I
still
like
like
how
cool.
some villains are like-
Like Fairy Tail's still cool. Like
Some
Dragon Ball
villains
still
are okay.
peak. Fairy Tail's
There are some other reasons why Fairy Tail got hate.
I'm about
Okay,
to
but I
say,
feel
even
like-
if you do,
but I
even
feel
if
like-
you do say it's
but I feel-
simplistic,
No. But I feel like,
Also
But-
saying JJK
yo,
gets praised because he's deep is straight.
shut up, bitch. Listen, because like the main critique I see of Fairy Tail are people is that like, oh, the themes and everything are so lame. Like it's just the power of friendship. But like, you can make more sense of something like the power of friendship rather than someone like Gay when you're trying to explain how exactly Gojo died. But you know what I'm saying? That's another. Okay, that was rage. I'm sorry. It didn't work. It was rage bait. It didn't work. The rage bait didn't work. Fuck. It didn't work. I was
JJK fans don't even have media lit.
I was hoping it was gonna work. But it didn't.
yeah, can we go? Dude, it's about to be one, bro.
My rage bait didn't work. I thought Deadly or Nova was gonna bite. They didn't bite. So thank you guys for watching episode 43 of
Will you see us next
the
time?
Hidden Podcast.
So either next episode we might have Kelka's public execution, we might promote power,
Yeah.
we might shoot Isaiah. But like other than that, have a nice night.
Peace.
Peace.